I was like, oh my god.
We are going live right now.
Sounds good. How does my mic sound
Sounds good.
over Discord? Okay. Yeah, we'll fix all the other stuff here soon. But...
Yep, it should fix when Crix pops in the call. And then we should be almost. I've got everything set up ready to go, so just gotta make sure Mel's ready and I gotta remind Crix to do a blank screen on his OBS recording. The file he had to send me was 11 gig. Up, you're muted.
I was needed for the test. That is very big. Gotta pull an ID real quick.
There we go. All right. Anybody tuning in? We are getting ready to roll. Our guest is joining us shortly, and hopefully Mel's joining us shortly too. Here, she just walked back in the room, so she should be ready. And
yeah, I'm moving everything over to my gaming computer so I can stream again.
Dude, awesome.
And, it'll be a million times easier not to switch computers to do a podcast also.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I was streaming Season of Mastery today, and I guess I'll talk about it on the podcast. I'll
yeah, I saw you on
save
I
it.
saw you on last night too, yesterday or something.
Woo! Big raid from Crix.
Welcome.
Welcome everybody. Crix will be joining us just in a second. That will fix the screen when he does.
I actually prefer being two people, so this works out just fine. I can argue with myself this way. Let me see. Which way do I have to move?
All right.
There's a delay. Let's see. Ah, it's better now. Well, welcome, Crix.
What's up?
Welcome.
I go to the bathroom because I just stopped stream. So 1 second.
No problem.
Take your time.
I'll refill my drink then while you're doing that. We'll let Yip, the Yip Show, entertain chat.
Oh God, I'm not prepared. How's everybody doing? Welcome. I just ate some extraordinarily spicy pasta, so I'm awake. I'm awake for once. Thanks, Dazen. Wow, from Sweden. Or are you calling us Sweden? Greetings, Sweden. Everyone's
Maybe because our guild name, possibly.
Ooh.
All right. So anybody who doesn't know, this is a show about World of Warcraft Classic, whether it be TBC. It's mostly about TBC, but some Season of Mastery, just because it's been hot in the news. But cover everything Classic. And we do a show every week. The best version is on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. It's the one that's fully edited, but if you like bloopers and you like a little bit of rough draft, then the live versions are here and on YouTube. Mel, how are you coming along?
Hi, I'm coming.
Okay.
I would say listen to the audio one if I had to pick.
Oh yeah.
Just either stream or audio. I feel like YouTube is like you're getting all of our mistakes, but without the live.
Yep. You're getting the pre-show too, and
yeah.
You're not getting any of the bumpers, the intro and outro music.
You're not getting any of the bumpers. You know what's crazy is I don't have music on a lot in just WoW in general. So I think a couple of weeks ago, it was Season of Master. I must have gone into Teldrassil for Season of Master with music on, and then like all of a sudden our podcast music starts playing, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yep.
I totally like forgot that it's the Teldrassil music for a while.
Yep.
It only means this now.
Oh man.
Can't believe WoW. I can't believe Vanilla WoW would steal from us like that.
I know, it's amazing. Dude, what's funny is right after Willie guested on the podcast, he started using that as his outro music for his videos.
Pretty radical, isn't it? It's pretty good music.
Yep. He clarified. Greetings from Sweden.
I know, but you know.
Our guild is a Swedish word.
It is.
Vargflocken.
Wolfpack. Oh. God.
Thanks to our former
Ooh,
guild
that's
lead, IDDQD.
I hate to admit it. I love this new keyboard that is like half membrane, half mechanical, and not.
It
It's
looks
like
interesting.
much quieter. It's much quieter. You have the tactile feedback, but the squishiness is there, so it's like more comfortable. And it's just not as like you have the. I don't know if you can hear. Like it still has the like mechanical click, but it's so much quieter and more comfortable. And I have to admit, after a raid last night, I was like, that was a more comfortable, especially when it comes with a wrist rest. Like there's like a magnetized like wrist rest that goes on it,
Nice.
and I've been missing out all my life. I didn't realize how like lifting your wrist on your keyboard like that feels worse. This
I
is
like
just better.
what are they? I think they're. I like the razor green switches. I got one that was quieter, but it just didn't
Is that
feel
like the,
right. It was like it was quieter, but it was the red switches, and it just did not feel right. Like I like that kakunk, kakunk, kakunk.
Yeah.
You know when you click.
Yep, makes sense.
All right.
Listen, I did something to my keyboard. I don't know what I did, but now it like changes colors while I'm typing, and it's so annoying.
You
And
turned
I
on the
know it's probably
RGB feature.
I know it's probably a simple fix, but like I'm working, and it's like pink, green, yellow, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
Crix,
I feel
love
like
the sweater.
is Mel way louder than everyone else in this Discord call, or is it just me?
I don't think so, but I could have her turned. No, I've got her at normal volume.
Mel is twice as loud than you are.
Did
to
you
me.
turn her up while
What?
she
Oh,
was
my
out of
mic was
town?
off just now. That was weird. Awkward.
Oh nope, just kidding. Bob is
Mic was
talking.
off.
I have Bob turned down, not Mel turned up. That's-
Okay. You're say that
That
You guys
makes
again.
hear me?
sense.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Ooh,
Listen,
I
Bob.
forgot.
Listen.
Jason
Okay.
wants to know what the topic is before he goes to bed.
I haven't read the notes yet. How do I know?
Oh,
I don't mean either.
we've got basically we're gonna go over what we've been doing this weekend. Wow, all of us.
Shocking.
Then we're gonna do the news. There's no TBC news. It'll just be the funny stuff. We're not gonna spoil it, but a bunch of funny shit happened in season of Mastery, so we're gonna hit that news. And then the end, the discussion is going to be Crix telling us all about Phase 3 in TBC.
Sweet.
It's gonna be a good
I-
time.
Yes.
Okay, so Crix,
Your content.
on
Yes,
your
sir.
local recording, remember to turn off video. So
Yeah, I just clicked start recording.
okay. But you turned off your like loading screen so you don't have like an 11 gig file to send me.
No, I don't want to do that. How do I do just a recording without the video on OBS?
If you just make a new scene, it should
Yeah.
automatically have your mic in there. You just mute desktop sound and just leave mic unmuted. Then when you click record, you'll just have a blank
Cool.
video recording with your voice.
Ew. Okay. Let me figure it out 1 second.
You're too nice to the streamers. You make all the YouTubers get Audacity, and then
Well, I just like, I try to use what like people are used to, and streamers definitely know OBS.
Is my video still washed out? Bob told me that my video is bad.
Well, someone complained and said it was always washed out. If you can't turn your light down, I don't know how you fix it. See, when you
Think
lean
like
in
a
there, it's-
dimming light.
yeah, she's got a donut.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa, you need to
It's working.
change your sound to your
Yep,
earbuds.
it's working. Yeah, I was just testing it, just making sure it was working.
Oh, okay. That was you. I thought that was Mel. All right.
I don't know if that's any better. Probably not.
It's a little better. I don't know. We can mess with it later. It might be something we have to change in your like camera settings or something.
Telling you guys, OBS virtual camera. You can just change everything. Like 8 trillion different things. My camera doesn't look like this. I would change it. I don't even know what it looks like when I switch it to normal camera.
All right. Everybody ready to start recording?
Yep.
All right. I'm recording now.
We're recording.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to do the 2, 3, 2, 1 checks and then the 3, 2, 1 clap. So starting the first one. 3, 2, 1, check.
Check.
Oh, forgot to say it.
It's all right. 3, 2, 1, check.
Check.
Now the clap. 3, 2, 1. All right. Now let it clear for 10 seconds. Perfect. All right. We are. Let me tweet out. I got the tweet ready, so we're all good. You can let the guild know if you want to, Yip, and we'll be ready to roll.
That is the thing I do.
Yeah, I forgot there was mash those buttons. I was looking at Blazing.
Yeah. I
it's not started.
wonder, like, this is just what, like, there's a whole bunch of different podcasts on this network, and we all use this Twitch. So it's just a Twitch that's just podcasts for different games. All right. I'm ready to roll if you guys are.
Do a podcast.
All right. This is just for me. Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic, TBC Classic, and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and today we're joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. 2 weeks in a row.
You're on a roll. And then we're also joined by Ryan, aka The Yip Show. How you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great. And yeah, I feel bad mentioning it, but I also feel bad not. I told Bob a couple of weeks ago, like, you know what? Just make Mel first. Let's just give her that. And we can
Don't act like this is
we
your
can
choice.
just get over it. I'll go second
No.
from now on.
He begged to go first, and Bob said no. Mel is better than you.
Well, I mean, the joke's really been on you guys this entire time because the most important person always goes last, and that's always the guests that come on the show. Returning to the show for like one of our fastest repeat guests ever, Crix. How you doing?
Oh, dude. I'm doing actually phenomenal.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
I thought you were about to
It's
say.
just a lot of
Wow, that
stuff.
was a roller coaster of a how
You know?
are you?
Because
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to be sad about? SOM's kind of fun. TBC is gonna be fun a little bit. Lich King's not too far off. I'm happy.
I thought you
Wonderland,
were
bro.
about to go into like, well, let me tell you. Today it started off bad. It's just go into
Oh,
this
no.
whole monologue
No.
about how you've been having a bad
If you-
day.
If you wake up in the morning, bro, and you got a roof over your head and food to feed and shit like that, you shouldn't be waking up mad about shit. You know?
Hell yeah. Oh, Mel,
There's
that's
too
good.
much
Leave
going
it there.
on for you to
That
be
looks
sad.
right there is perfect, by the way.
Yeah, Mel, you're
Where I
perfect
am.
now.
Right
Right
there.
there,
Yep.
Beautiful. Literally perfect camera.
Perfect.
But Christmas sweater, Christmas tree in the background, you really can't
Oh yeah.
talk about
It's called
anything bad,
it's called
even if you
Crixmas season. I kind of like really hug that out when it gets to this month.
Yeah, like how are we supposed to compete with this, Crix? You know, like
And I didn't even pick the name like that too. My wife came up with it. She's like, "Oh, you can go by Crixmas," and it's one of those things where we like to like debate and like you're wrong, I'm right, but like friendly, like we're competitive. So it's like, and she's like, "Yeah, you should call it Crixmas." I was like, "I'll never do that." I was like, "Fuck, that's so good." I was like, so I can't even lie about it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know anything about being competitive with a spouse. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
that.
I it was because I'm always right, so
There you
you
go.
don't have
Yeah,
anything. to
they
get
usually are,
competitive
man.
about.
But the few times they're not, I'll fucking rub it in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I never stop hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, remember 3 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
Right.
that?
Remember that?
I remember,
I was
when
right,
you
you were
thought
wrong.
you did that dish, but it was me.
We did have something like that where one day she got mad at me and she was like, "Can you just please try to close the dog treats? Like close the little Ziploc bag?" And I was like, "Mel, this is one of those things where I decided to pick my battles. I close it every time. You close it never." And she looks at me about to argue, and then she goes, "Oh, you're right."
Mhm.
I was like,
Like,
"Yeah."
At least
But
yours
Bob,
will
did you
admit she's right or she's wrong. Yeah, you know.
did you put the toilet
It's
seat
rare.
down, Bob?
I always do. I'm actually very good at that.
Nope.
Oh, come
Okay, that's
on.
Not
okay. Here we
always.
Okay, but
When he
like,
doesn't, though,
I mean, I'm
it's very
probably
annoying.
better than 99% of men across
Yeah.
America.
Almost makes it worse because 99% of the time it is down. And then when I go in there in the middle of the night and randomly it's not down, I fall inside the toilet. Like,
That's why I feel like if you're the picky person, the agency's
no,
on
no,
you.
it's
That's
not
my
picky. It's not picky. You can still pee and nothing happens to you if you have the toilet
well,
seat up or down.
sure,
Oh,
right.
no.
So that makes you picky. So I go in. It doesn't matter if it's up or down. I'm comfortable with either. You're the
So
one
keep it
who
down.
has a requirement involved. So that's
I'm
why
comfortable with
Bob.
going like this and looking and going and but at the same
Listen,
time, until I sat there butt naked on that little toilet one time and sat on that open rim, and I said, "Whoa,
it
I
only
never want
takes
to do that
once.
again."
You
It
feel
only
the
Yep.
takes the
pain.
once.
It's
Yeah.
when
But
you
now
just
I never
pop
forget.
up. You just pop up and go, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I get it now.
Like,
It's
oh,
starting to
that
go
feels
down.
weird. Yeah.
Oh,
Never
man.
forget again.
All right, well, after that, we'll go ahead and tell you what's going on in the show. Oh, did I? Okay, yeah, I did. We're going to go ahead and tell you what's going on in the show this week. First off, at the top of the show, I like to mention we always stream live, twitch.tv/mash those buttons, usually on Friday nights. Follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded to know whenever we go live. We're gonna go over our reviews this week. We couldn't put them all in this week. We will definitely catch up next week. But reviews seem to come like in spurts, so we're not gonna read like 17 of them. Then we're
We
gonna
love you,
go
Nicole.
over one email. Then we're gonna go over news. There's no TBC news, but there is some pretty funny Season of Mastery news. Then at the end of the show, discussion is going to be Crix telling us all about Phase 3 and what to expect and getting some hype going for Phase 3, which should be coming pretty dang soon. So with that being said, the first thing I wanted to mention before we get to reviews is Spotify did this year-end review thing where I guess it shows like the stuff you do the most. And we had a lot of people send us emails, tweet at us that we were their number one watched podcast. And I just want to say thank you for those. That really made my day and made everybody here's day, and was pretty cool to know that you spent, some of them were like 3,000, 4,000 minutes. And I'm like, damn, thank you.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that we spent way more than that talking.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, Bob, where's my thank you for
For listening
spent
to
much
you
longer than
fools talk
Well,
to me for
and then
3,000 minutes.
Hold on.
put
I
it
didn't.
on top of that. Imagine how much editing time I have done, because it's usually about
nah,
a
Okay.
3 to 4
no,
hour
come on,
editing
that's
thing
All
enough.
right,
on
all
Sundays.
Get out of here.
Editing time. I don't even know if you edit this thing.
Yeah.
Mel knows because
Yip
she
and I
has
are
to wait for me to
perfect,
get
so
done.
I don't know what you're editing.
True,
You know,
true,
all
true.
of your stuff,
Yep,
obviously.
it's definitely all me. It's definitely all me.
Of course.
All right, well, you want to tell us some of the reviews we got, Yip?
Yeah, let's take a look. The first one is on Warcraft Radio. Easily the best WoW classic podcast available. Weekly episodes with loads of informative chat and equal amounts of humor and tangents from the hosts. Lots of guests come through the show too, giving personal and fresh input on situations and current happenings in the community. Iron Man, by the way, goal. Thank you for your great review. And I like the Iron Man. I like people bringing this. Keep bringing us RuneScape content so I can talk about it. Keep talking about Iron Man. The next
Oh,
one also on
God.
Warcraft Radio from Raider. Great weekly show, worth signing up on this site to leave an honest review. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is, I do have to appreciate someone signing up for a site to leave a review. That is like a next level barrier of entry. So
That
thank you,
is.
and thank Bob for begging you to until you did it. So
Yep. I think that's.
good work, Bob.
I like to beg for reviews because it helps more people find the show.
And
Especially if,
This.
the
you,
next
especially
one.
if it doesn't have that button that just lets you sign in with Google. And you actually have to like sit there and put in all your stuff. You're like, oh wait.
Right.
There's been times when I went to websites to sign up for something and realized there was no login with Facebook or Google button. I'll just leave the site. Like, yeah,
I've done
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. I'm like,
I don't know, man. That's
I
Have
don't
you
lame.
need to
ever
do it.
wondered what would happen if Google forgot all of your passwords? What would
Oh
you
yeah,
do?
yeah. I recently had thought I got hacked and changed all my passwords, which took like an hour because they've been all my stuff has been the same password for like 10 years.
That's
So
what I was gonna
I
say. I
had
was
to
like,
write
wouldn't
it all down.
doesn't everyone just have the same password for everything?
Yeah, I
Is
actually
that
changed them all different by literally like one letter, right? But whatever.
I've got like 12 and I get confused. And luckily, on everything that matters, I have two-factor authentication, so I don't worry too much.
Yeah, me too. That's how I feel too.
I feel like you can't be safe without two-factor. If you don't
Yeah.
have two-factor, that account is just could be hacked at any
You
time.
never
Like,
know,
there's
man.
just no.
Yep. Unless you have like a 28-character long password.
Like all
Oh.
of mine are. Let's keep going.
The
We have
alphabet just
another
jumbled up.
very relevant review. More Crix. Please have Crix back ASAP. He's such a good guest. I really like his content in general. It's clear that he's incredibly knowledgeable about the game. Based?
Whoa.
I love this
Based.
episode. Like based?
It's good stuff.
Definitely based.
We actually had two other emails just saying that they liked you on the show. So
There was probably if I had to guess, like 15 people probably came in my chat at one point. Not one time, but over the time. And like, yo, I saw you on Reloaded. That was dope.
Nice.
it's awesome.
I'm like, oh shit, that's hype.
That's always good. And then we also had an email. Just a thank you for your show. Hi there. I wanted to reach out and thank you for the content you've been putting out. I only started watching the show about 4 weeks ago after a recommendation from a guildie. That's what Bob says that you guys should do.
Definitely, dude. That's a bunch of people that you can turn on to it.
But have to say, I've really appreciated the positive TBC content that your team is providing every week. It's been really refreshing to hear a group of people talking about their positive experiences in the game rather than focusing on all the negativity that's been going around for the last little while. Thanks again, Brendan. Well, thank you for your very kind email. I agree. I like the positivity. I mean, we are playing the game still, so I sort of feel like we can't really exclusively be negative, especially when we're spending so much time of our lives playing.
Well, see, the thing for me is, so there's a bunch of stuff going on at Blizzard, and there's plenty of people covering that, and I just don't feel like we are journalists. I just don't feel it's our place to cover it. Of course, we all have feelings about it, but I don't think it's our place. I don't know every detail. Like, it's going to take a long time for everything to get ironed out. I just don't think it's our place to talk about it. We do a show about a game, so we talk about a game.
Well, we do a show about a game we like to play. So we talk about the game we like to play.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
that's
like.
why we wouldn't want to play it, but we're going to continue playing it. But we don't like that they do these things. Like,
So I say to people all the time, it's like, I'm going to play it no matter what. So that's why I don't bitch about it. If
Yeah.
it's something seriously to bitch about, like the seed of corruption bug currently that I'm complaining about, and I hope I hope they fix it. But other than that, it's like, I'm not going
Right.
to complain about it. 'Cause there's
Well,
going to be,
yeah.
I mean, what do you expect them to do? Remake an old game, but have it be brand new? Like what?
Right.
Like fuck
Yeah,
off.
and it
Leave them alone.
depends where it's coming from too. Like you want it fixed because you like the game and want the game to
Yeah.
be in its best position, not not to see the downfall of the game.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
It doesn't make any
we're having-
sense. It's like, leave them alone.
now. Hold up. What's this seed of corruption?
Oh, it's just some like weird target thing where like it's like there's 3 of them. It's like the mob that you initially put on seed of corruption on. It's counting towards the AoE cap, and then there's one where if something get resist, like one of your seeds pulls up and it gets resist, it's counting that as your AoE cap, even though it shouldn't because it got resisted. Right.
Oh, interesting. See, and what's crazy is I swore that seed wasn't in the AoE cap in TBC, and then all of a sudden I'm getting told by everybody that it is, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I should like consecration and like Nova, something like that. Holy Nova or some shit. Those kind of spells. Flame strike.
Yeah, well,
why?
I
Is it like ground effect spells or something?
yeah, ground effect spells
are
aren't.
not in it, but
But for some reason, I swore that seed was not covered in, and
What do you think Hellfire wouldn't be? Because that's kind of
So
ground
weird.
effecty. I guess not. No, it's not actually. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, Hellfire would be kind of like the same as Seed, just
Yeah.
coming from a character, whether it be NPC or player.
Yeah,
But
as we're going through trash, if there's one thing that I've been thinking for a while, and I'm glad you brought this up, I was like, these warlocks don't do any damage. There must be a bug going on here.
oh no
He's
no no
getting
no! Those
4K
warlocks,
damage on this trash Pulagetta.
if they're not doing a lot of damage, if they're not top of your healer, like if they're not with the mages up there, then they're just doing something wrong.
I'm
But they're still,
joking. They
still
are
yeah,
up
they're
there
still
with the
pumping.
mages.
They're still. It's just like it's almost like a min maxy thing that you're missing.
Yeah.
Just like imagine just like one seed blows up for 2K, you're missing 2K your damage on each seed pop, and you're spamming seeds in Mount Hydro, in capped or whatever.
Yeah, I've been
I get
loving. I got the tip from Lock Talk, and I made myself a trash set. And I've been loving the trash set. The only problem with the trash set, I can't say that for some reason,
I know.
is that on about half the boss fights, I forget and leave the trash
Oh
set
my
on.
god.
Yeah, I had to get a weak order on me, to be honest.
Oh, weak order. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because I'll be like halfway through the boss and be like, damn.
Yeah, it took a while to get used to, especially when you started getting that seed set, like the dungeon set. It sucks, but I mean, it doesn't suck, but it sucks to forget it because it's a huge single target. Because you go from like 101 hit, shit on a crit to nothing.
Yep. And like the seed set, I jump up like 5 crit too.
Mhm.
But I just don't have the hit. It's horrible. But all right, let's get into it. What have we
Freaking
been
warlock.
doing in WoW lately? Who wants to start?
I can start because I was out of town all week.
Well, but you still
You
played.
weren't out of town all week.
You played out of town.
I was out of town Monday through Thursday.
Wait, really? Weren't you? Didn't you raid with us yesterday?
Well, I got back late.
Oh,
I got back like
okay, you got
Thursday
back
evening.
like Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, you were gone all week. That's fine.
Yeah, I was gone all week. I was like,
Right.
wait, what do you consider all week? Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. You raided with us Thursday. That's that.
Yeah. I was also kind of raiding with you Tuesday.
Yeah, kind. That was rough because yeah. Well, we can talk about it more, but we were down to 5 healers, and then you were like disconnecting. So it was like this is really this is tough.
And when I
And we're running
wasn't
a resto
disconnected,
kin.
I was at like 1400 or 14,000 MS. And I was just like, I can't do anything. There's literally like I heal, and by the time my heal goes through, you're been at full life for 10 seconds. Like,
This is the first week, and I'm one of those tanks. I don't blame the healers, but I blame the healers.
Yeah.
you
So
can blame me.
this is the first week when I died on Leo, where I was like, we have 3.5 healers because of a restokin. Well, it's more than half, but 3.5 healers because of a restokin, and Mel's like disconnecting. Probably should have put on some tankier gear for this. We were pretty low on heals, but it was
To be
was funny.
fair, this is a Leo, so it's not like he didn't know going in that Mel
Yeah,
had been disconnecting and hyping
yeah.
the entire night.
Bad fight for that one fight.
running
But yeah.
running in place. But you also played
Well,
your newbie.
I knew that though. I knew that because on Monday night, didn't we quest Monday night, Bob?
I
Yeah,
don't-
because before, or no, maybe because before I raided on Tuesday, I remember
yeah, it was.
saying,
Yeah, we did quest
like,
Monday night.
I'm pretty laggy. Just a heads up, just in case there was somebody else that wanted to step in. And because Monday night we were questing, I was having not as bad, but it was similar. And then I spent like an hour and a half on the phone with tech support, and they were telling me, they were asking me to like change my DNS server, and I like am texting Bob, and I'm like, is this right? And he's like, hang up on them. They don't know what they're talking about. Hang up. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna hang up. Like,
Yeah.
that just seems rude.
I was just like, they're going by a checklist. If you're connecting to the servers, your DNS server is working. For anybody that doesn't know what a DNS server is, a domain name server. All it is a phone book for the internet. You say google.com, it says, hey, Google's this IP address, this IP address, this IP address, this IP address, and then your computer connects. If your computer's connecting to websites, it's not DNS. Sorry,
Wow.
a little bit of rant there, little IT rant.
Yeah, I listened to that IT rant after my hour and a half phone call with IT, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I told them I was done.
I'm surprised they gave you that much. That seems like more than IT has ever said to me. You got to turn it on. Did you turn it off? Turn it back on?
Oh no, we went
Oh.
through all those steps, and I was
And then
like, I did
you
that
eventually
before.
reached down to the I just feel like
Yeah.
a normal person you're talking about, like, "Oh, it's a DNS corner." It's like, "Okay, dude, we're going we're going 2
Well,
levels deep here. Let's."
he's like, "Do you mind changing your DNS server?" And I was like, "I don't know how to do that, but sure." And then we go on this thing. So we go through all this stuff, and then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna escalate this to a senior representative. When do you check out?" And I was like, "Tomorrow." It's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, "Tomorrow. I just wanted you to fix it because I wanted it done right now. Like I wanted to play right now." Oh,
Yeah. The
but other than that, I've been working on my hunter. And that's been fun. I still really like damaging things. I frequently forget to heal my pet and she dies. That's a
she
thing.
dies a lot.
A
I always
lot.
forget to loyalty feed them when they run away. I've
Oh,
lost like
see,
every time I do a
mine
hunter,
hasn't
I've
run
lost
away yet.
millions of pets.
Does that really happen? Like what happens when
Yeah.
they run away?
They're gone
You just
forever.
gotta get a new pet. You gotta go tame a new pet.
What?
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that
Dead
either.
ass.
What?
I thought they just ran back to the stable and you had to like go back to town and grab them.
No, bro, they leave. They dip out.
Oh wow, I've
Like I
I've
do the
never
hardcore
played a
challenge
hunter.
on a hunter on classic, and I would like sit there and do it, and I would forget to feed them, and they would just leave. You had to go all the way out wherever you were and get another one.
See,
Oh
I've never
man.
okay, don't judge me. I've never tamed a pet, so I don't even know how to do it. And I know I should have by now, but I
Love you.
haven't.
Well, don't you have to tame the first pet?
You got to do the quest at level 10. Yeah, he
She
forces you
Yeah.
to.
she
They teach
Well,
you
I
to do
boosted.
it.
She
boosted.
boosted to level 58.
Oh
Oh
yeah, you
my
already have
god,
it
you've
then. You
never
probably
oh,
have one in the stable
yeah.
then, or
Yeah, I
something. I think
have
one.
one.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
pull it out.
yeah, you have a pet, you've just never tamed it before.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
so
cool.
like Bob's trying to tell me to get these little scorpion things in the Outlands, and I'm like, I tried it and it said
I
I
said
couldn't do it.
Ravager.
The
I thought
Ravager.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Ravager.
yeah, we know what you said, it was just funny to hear Mel's version.
It's like get a
Shut
scorpion.
up. I don't know. Whatever. But
Oh man.
it was fun. I like my hunter. I think my hunter's gonna be my new main. Not really.
Alright.
But
Hunters are good.
yeah. No, but it's fun. I like it. And I think we're 65 now. We did
Yep.
Ring of Blood. Some guildies helped us with Ring of Blood.
Yep. I was asking in guild. I was like, "Hey, anybody want to take us through Ring of Blood?" And Mira from the guild and Jasmine were like, "Yeah, we'll come." I was like, "Really? Hell yeah! All right, we're headed there right now." I was not
Well, and
expecting
then our new
anybody to say
mage too.
yes.
Our
Oh
new
yeah,
mage helped us too.
Jeff. Yep.
Yeah, we had an officer meeting during that time, and we're like, "Oh, we should log in and
Sure.
go." We were joking about going to like a little role play spot to have an in-game officer meeting, and I was like, "I can't log in because I told Bob I couldn't help him with Ring of Blood. I can't log into the game right now."
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh, so you want me to go, or you want to go? Yep, or Crix?
I don't have much, so I can go. I did the normal stuff, PvP and raid, and that's pretty much it. I started playing hardcore last week, right? So of course, whenever I get like fixated on something and have a lot of fun with it, I like put off all my real world responsibilities, and then this week I was like, I have to do some work. Oh no, and didn't get to play very much at all, unfortunately, outside of raid.
What about you, Crix? I assume a lot of
Yeah.
hardcore challenge.
Oh man. So yeah, I did a lot of hardcore that road to rag thing where you get to 60 and kill Ragnaros without dying. Still doing that. Level 53 or 54 almost there. I was gunning it at first in the past like week after the past like 4 days after the takeoff because some family stuff. And also that thing you said about when you get devoted to something, you kind of like get no life it. That's what I've been doing to these Lich King servers lately. Man, I just been no life in that. That and SOM going back and forth. Had TBC raid this week. Oh, this week was my last raid as my Shadow Priest too. I quit my alt raid because I'm over it.
Whoa, really?
Oh yeah, I'm over it. I'm gonna throw it in a GAP weekly and just call it a day.
That's
And
probably
once
fair.
T6 hype kind of gets out of the way, because there's gonna be a big lull after T6 because ZA is gonna be bleh. And then
Yeah.
well, it's gonna be hype until everybody gets mounts, and then no one's gonna give a fuck about it. And then that's the alt time. That's when you want to start getting alt. So I'm gonna enjoy probably just continuing a little TBC break I'm on right now. I just rate it like I'd stream it once a week probably right now, once, twice a week, while this road to rag thing gets handled. Or I die and don't be
Nice.
in it. Get to figure out.
Yeah, I did a slash who on you today, and then when I was gonna walk back to Stormwood, I was gonna ask you for a G invite, and then I forgot. But
Oh yeah, I can get you one.
but yeah, for me, I've been working up the level 65 rogue with Mel, And then I would have started on Season of Mastery at the start of this week, but I made the mistake of opening up State of Decay 2 and realizing there was 2 maps I hadn't played yet, and I got sucked into that for a couple days. But I pulled myself out of that, got started finally on hardcore yesterday, and I did it for a few hours yesterday and then about 4.5 hours today. And I've got
Yeah, right after Mel gets back in town. Can we point this out? Mel's gone all
Yeah.
week and he's like, I think I'm
Waiting.
going to start Season of Mastery.
He was waiting too. Every week he was like, I can't wait for Mel to leave. I get to play
Right.
Season of Mastery. And then as soon as you're back, loads it up.
Yeah. To be
I
fair,
mean,
I
what is
did
pretty
come
fun.
home.
Huh?
Do what?
It is pretty fun.
Yeah,
And
well,
you guys are doing hardcore?
yeah, I started a solo hardcore. I got a lock. He's level 11 now.
Serious, bro.
And then I got a duo, mage priest. I'm a mage. My duo partner's a priest. And that was pretty fun. But there's been a lot of things where it's just like, whoa, dude, like so many, like it's the funniest thing. I was doing, like, I didn't get one bag drop doing my solo, and then I'm on with my duo partner this morning, and a bag drops, and we're like, oh, dude, and there's so many weird little things that you're like, oh, like he got this
You lose your
green-
mind over a bag drop. It's crazy. That's why it's so fun.
Yeah, dude, it actually makes it really fun and
You appreciate
enjoyable.
all the parts of the game again. Like
It makes
it-
you do like stuff like professions, man. That's the big thing. You have to like sit there and I got on this morning and today was a boring stream because I sat there and did fishing for like 2 hours. Trying to find heavy leather to make advanced training dummies. So
Well,
I could
and
survive. And I ended up using it. That saved my life later that day. That same one I sat there and made. Without it, I don't know if I probably would have survived without it, but it would have been like a AoE fear in the middle of a fucking cave and hope I survived type shit. Versus just going, fell dom, another Void Walker, sacrifice it, throw target dummy and run. And then it say, well, like that.
oh
There
You
you
gotta
man,
do professions, it's just worth it, bro.
Well,
Well, we do it to duos. I've never done a duo, but that would be fun because you can share with each other's professions and stuff. so.
exactly. We had this
Mhm.
big long conversation today about like, all right, so I figure I should go this, you should go this. You should do enchanting first, but then I'll do herbalism and I'll bank the herbs so you can drop enchanting once you make our wands and then go alchemy. So then we
How
can
you going to
have
bank the herbs
potions.
without any bags?
Well, you've got some
Bank.
you,
You do have
you've got
bank.
some stuff in your bank
You get
without
skinning
bags.
early. On all my characters, I always get skinning early,
Yep.
and I skin ferociously until like 10, and you can always get full bags right away and a couple for your bank.
Dude, it's hilarious. I'm walking through these fields with all these dead boars, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys are just leaving
Mhm.
this money." I'm like, "Money, money, money." I'm just
I'm a
going
little
and
surprised that's
skinning.
allowed, to be honest with you. Is
Yeah,
it
I'll-
because it's too hard to monitor if people do that? Because I feel
What?
like skinning someone else's mob that they killed should not be
I looked,
allowed.
and it's not
Yeah,
against
but
the
when you
rules.
think about it. That's just people in the open world leaving a boar there, and obviously you wouldn't, but that's not And it's a fresh. That's what I do on fresh servers. Fresh server launch. I was like level. I just grinded like 1 to 9, I think, when that swim launched, way in the middle of nowhere, just picking up people's stuff just forever. It was fun.
Yeah, I
But
went
it's
the
there.
mistake of going skinning on my hunter, and I just skin like everything. And Bob's
Mhm.
like, "Come on, Mel." And then
Yeah.
like as I'm skinning, there's an herb, and so I go herb that, and then
Yeah.
there's 10 more things to skin. But like, how do I just run past all of this money on the ground?
Yeah, I'm doing a duo with a rogue and I'm a priest. And we just split it up, even though like he's the alchemist, I have herbalism because while he's killing stuff, I can like shield him and then go herb while he's killing. Then he's the skinner, so I go pull the next one with mind blast, and he just stands behind it and backstab. Like we have like a method to the professions
Synergy,
while
yeah.
we're leveling.
See, you're
That's
doing
dope.
exactly what I realized after it was a little too late with us. I was like, "Oh, you should have been the skinner and the herber because I'm going to be doing the majority of the damage, and you can just throw a shield and a heal on me here and there while you're." Yeah, we screwed that one up, but
Well, it's
Eh,
no big
I
deal,
don't-
really.
yeah, I think
It's
it's
a
just,
little
it's just
scarier in
it's just a little
hardcore,
thing.
though. Like, it's a
Mhm.
little scarier in hardcore to be like, "Here's a shield, goodbye. I'm gonna go herb," right? Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
duo is really fun because you get to do a lot more wacky stuff. Like we've almost died just as much as I did solo, but we're just doing crazier stuff. Like we can pull this whole camp, and we're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh,
That's the danger of it too, is that you pull because you get cocky.
yeah.
Or
We're
even
like,
like
we're
when
so
you're just in the open
strong.
world doing it, you kind of get cocky, and then you realize like, oh, okay, well, I have control of everything, and you're like, oh, my pet died. Oh, wait, now I'm face tanking them all,
oh god.
and everything's on cooldown. They're like, oh shit, I'm gonna die right now, being stupid. Yeah.
The
That's
warrior
what I
was
feel like
awesome
with the
for that.
hunter when things like come to me and I'm like, what am I I can't
Yeah.
do anything to you.
My brain
What do I
shuts down when
do?"
I don't have a Voidwalker out.
The
Yeah.
Warriors like that, where it was like, "Parry, miss," and you're like, "Okay." I went from I went from killing a mob I know I can kill to, like, danger zone all of a sudden, got
Yep.
my potions ready.
Warriors really just sit there and do fucking greens. They just fight
Yeah.
greens the whole time, man. It's crazy. I can't do it.
Or you're me and you go into, the Pillager Cave in Westfall and die like a fool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, every
Did you die on your
character has
hardcore?
to level. That's
On
the
my warrior.
grind.
You remember, guys, when Yip said, "Once I die, I'm done"?
Well, okay.
Can we just recap
I didn't
this?
die, though, so here's the thing. I died, but it was stemmed from the fact that hardcore isn't as interesting with so many people around. I found it to be very easy. I wanted to go a little more like, I could only get 1 mob every 20 minutes in Moonbrook. I was like,
Yeah,
"This is insane. I'm not even
it's
playing the game."
miserable when it's
Yeah.
not fresh.
So I
It was a
wanted
lot more
to
fun when it wasn't as popular, almost because it was just the world was open, and every time you'd see someone, you'd be like, "Oh, look, wow, there's actually someone who's playing hardcore. Yo, what's up?" And now it's like it's the backwards. You're like, "Holy shit, it's a multi-lifer." You're like, "Whoa, no way, they exist."
Yep, yep.
a multi
Like everybody
So
has like
multi-lifer.
hardcore in their name or HC
Yeah.
in their name, and like
It does get better when you get higher level because, to be honest, I don't be feeling like that asshole, but people typically fall before the 30s a lot. So once you get above the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, you are more or less alone. It's not as
Yeah,
nearly as crowded as the lower levels, right?
Mm.
yeah, and that's
But I'm
why I
not.
didn't quit, though. I want to see that
mm,
experience as well too, not
You'll
just
like
the
it. It's
1 to
worth it. It
50.
feels different, bro. I'm on my highest
Yeah.
character right now, which is almost 54, and it just I just did the beginning at Western Plaguelands, and it's just it was dangerous. It felt like I can't fear anymore. So it's super dangerous. You're used to feel it now. You're like, oh shit. It's the real. It's the end. It's safe. We had two, so we have like 20 60s so far. 20 people make it to 60 for the road to rag, and 2 of them died today at a dungeon.
Oh,
oh
Yeah,
no,
they had to
No.
who
delete their
what
characters,
dungeon?
bro. After like a million days played, Sunken Temple.
who died?
They pulled the dragon
Fucking
boss without clearing the trash, which when you pour it pulls all the trash.
oh,
So they summoned all the
oh,
trash they skip, which is like 20 fucking wolves
Oh
and
no,
like 20 of those big huge wormkin things. It was just
Nope.
instant death.
who
Yeah, and they didn't
died?
know the evade spot either. There's an evade spot, but I don't think they knew where it was. Priest and a warrior, the tank and the healer.
It wasn't Winky, was it? I saw like
No. Winky's 58,
okay,
59 almost. Warlock. It was a warrior and a priest. It was a hard
okay.
one.
that hurts.
Yeah,
That
You
people
hurts.
are
guys,
starting
who
to die
won?
now, and I think it's a worry because I think here's what I think people are gonna get too comfortable because you gotta remember, at the end of the day, guys, this is classic dungeons at 60. They're fucking easy. It does I know it's
Right.
hardcore, and if you die, you could but think about how easy dungeons really are. They're not hard. A little bit of CC, they're not hard to do. That's why you see them dusting through it, but that's when people get comfortable. The other day, Grace for Days and the healer, it was a paladin, Tommy Salami and Grace for Days, both were they were all doing strat or something and they almost died. And Grace for Days, the tank, a bear had 200 health left, and then the healer had like 100 health left. And
Oh,
they're getting stomped on, and the healer will go lay on hands the tank instead of himself, and he saves everything, and they all make it. Nobody died. 200
Oh
wow.
health,
my god.
blown out, fully kitted,
Wow.
like almost previous characters can go down in these dungeons in a one
I
wipe, and it's you know.
I get it though. With playing normal classic, even with a ton of gear, we would still sometimes die because we go in not paying
Mhm,
attention at all.
mhm.
You're just charging in. You're like, I got some nags gear on. This isn't
Yeah.
your problem. And you're just dying. You're like, oh whoops, we pulled
Yeah,
like
but
8
when you
nags.
know you have to delete your character if you die, I
I
feel
know.
like you'd.
Well, and then at some point, if you die too late, which is I'm still whatever that word is too, you can you won't be able to make the raid because say the
Mhm.
raids we don't have a deadline, but say it's in a month. And you die a week before because you're
Well,
just like farming something as simple as farming herbs or something, and you just aren't paying attention because you're doing whatever, and you look this way, and next thing you know, you're falling off the cliff. People have died because they're falling off cliffs because they didn't know they were there.
Dude,
They're running through the trees, and all of a sudden, oh shit, that's way further than I thought it was. Boom, dead. Level
I,
37. You're like, what the fuck?
you guys
I
know
went to
all of those
Wire.
times that you jump off of things and you're like, I wonder if I could survive this.
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
that's
Your
probably not a
instinct
thing
is
in
still to
hardcore.
do that, even though you're like, oh, I can survive that because I've done this a million times before. But it's like people don't know that like fall damage is percentage based. It's not like damage based. So it's
Yep.
like they forget about that and they jump off. Like, oh,
Dude,
There
I
there have been
almost
times I'll slide
fell.
down a hill and take a lot of damage.
I almost fell into the pit of Ironforge, and I was like, "Oh God, oh God,
yeah, that's
would I have been
terrifying.
able to hearth in time or something?" Like I was
That's
just
what
like,
I'm thinking too. I think we can. I don't know if. Yeah, I think we can. I hope so.
I hope so. I'm pretty sure.
Where
I
is it?
think that's percentage based too. But I was like level 11. I was like, I almost walked in there, and I was
It
like, oh
might kick you
shoot.
back every time you get ticked by the lava, though. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, I actually don't like Ironforge because of that, but Stormwind's so dangerous because of that dragon, bro. They're
Yeah.
kiting Turamis or whatever.
Mm.
The dragon all the way up there, and it just fucks people up. It's
That was
hilarious.
actually the last time I played. I was like, I got a little bit of time. Let me hop onto my mage. I'm in Stormwind, and everyone starts screaming. They're like the dragon, and I'm like, okay, I'm logging out, and I'm not
Yeah,
logging
yeah,
in
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, everybody it's just known hardcore home bases like Ironforge.
Yeah.
Darkness is Ironforge.
Slash
Darkness
camp.
is really far. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's hilarious to me. I think the griefers are hilarious because it's funny, man. One of the griefers was a hunter, and he was mind controlling boars and the barons, and then putting him on like standby or passive in the where the boars would be, so the hardcore players would come attack that boar, flag him for PvP, and then they would kill them.
Yeah, they were talking about last week.
Hilarious.
That is like people are very creative in the ways
So
they torment
funny. It
people.
sucks, but it's hilarious, bro. It's like if
Kinda
someone
like,
Leroy's this, I think someone's gonna Leroy this raid when we're in there, to be honest. And if someone Leroy's this raid, it's gonna suck
Oh
because I'm gonna
my
die, but it's gonna
god!
be hilarious at the same time. You
Don't
know?
give people that idea, Crix.
I
It's
mean,
like, I'm
it's
gonna
in
be
everybody's head. That's
famous.
all everybody always talks about it. I never even talked about it. Now you go to someone's channel, they're like, oh yeah, something griefing. It's in someone's head, but we vet not just anybody can get into this raid. It's people we know, it's friends, hard as raiders. It's not like we're taking 40 people from fucking
Randoms.
chat. I mean, yeah.
We'll see if it gets to
We'll
that
see.
point.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
It might eventually.
I just
Yeah,
can't.
but
I
Leroy
just can't
was
wait for the
this-
first partial wipe, and you guys are all just booking it to the entrance.
Yeah.
Run,
Oh,
every
that
man
hurts.
for himself.
It hurts on
Yeah.
mouse scroll wheel.
Oh man,
Oh,
man.
God.
But the one thing I did notice, because like I don't have a big stream. I don't stream much, and so I get like maybe 5 to 10 people in there average, and so lots of times they're not even talking. So I like luckily the first day I had a lot of talkers, so I was able to just talk. Like it was cool. And then today I did duos, but then when I switched over to singles, no one in my chat was talking. And I'm just sitting there singing, 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever see.
Do you know why nobody's talking? Is because when you're in duos, you're talking. And so people feel more inclined to talk to you. But when
Well,
you're in singles, you're singing.
No, I'm
and that's
talking. No, I'm
weird.
talking to myself and like being like, oh, I'm not going in there. But like, I'm even like, chat. I see you guys in there. Anybody want to say hi? Anybody have a question? It's
a lot of
like,
people just like to lurk though, because they're just like put it on
Mhm.
another monitor.
Yep.
Imagine anytime that you'd watch a YouTube video or whatever you do while you're playing. That's what other people are doing. Because I thought the same thing, and then I would just be like listening to something alt tabbed out. Not everybody has like 3 monitors, right? So you can have something like alt tabbed out in the
Right.
background listening to whatever. Then they got to stop what they're doing, get to a safe spot, alt tab, and respond. I'll just assume that. That makes me feel better in my head. I'm like, yeah, they just don't want alt tab. It's alright.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh man. Well, yeah, that's been I've been enjoying it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I think Mel and I are gonna do one too. I gotta decide what
I
we're
don't know.
gonna
Bob's
do.
cheating on me with this other priest. So, it
It's
might
iPod, right?
Yeah,
might
it's
set a
iPod.
rift. And
It's just iPod, Mel. You got nothing to worry about.
She was like,
So-
don't do that. Then you won't want to do it with
I
me.
was
And
like,
I was
you're not
like,
gonna
yes,
want
I
to do it with
will.
me. Come on.
iPod's for a period of time was my resto druid in our 2s, and
Hmm.
it's only a matter of time.
I watch my
before it
goddamn
gets
wife would
paired.
play some damn video games. Jesus, man. If there's some kind of mobile Facebook, Instagram game, we should play the shit out of that. I know that, but
Bob tricked Mel. You probably haven't heard the story, but Bob
Sure.
pretended he was a cool guy at first, and then a couple weeks
Mhm.
later was like, "So I actually don't go out to bars. I play World of Warcraft, and why
Yeah,
don't you
I was
join
in
me?"
college, a sorority girl, and like he was coming to bars with me all summer. And then after summer ended, he was like, "So I actually like to play this
And-
game called WoW."
I
I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
I can hang with the Chads and pretend to fit into the flock, but I'm just not, one of those guys. Like I'm a nerdy gamer,
Mhm.
but I could definitely hold my own with
Mhm.
those type of bro guys, so
yeah, for 2 hours, I don't want to go back to my goddamn computer, bro.
Exactly,
Every time,
exactly.
like tonight after this, I got to go to my little brother's for tonight, and I just like don't even want to go. I'm like,
It's the hardest getting us
I don't
out
want
of
to
the
go.
house.
Yeah.
like getting us out of the house and away from everything, that's the hardest part, right? Like once we get out, like we're fine, we'll be fine,
Exactly.
right?
We're actually
But
not
it's like,
fine.
You're like, oh, I'm glad I went out. Oh.
We're
yeah,
nuts when we go out. We're like, all right, now we got to find a bar that's open even later. All right, we got to do
I
like if you
mean,
saw us at BlizzCon, you would be like, you guys are fucking nuts. Like I've at conventions I've been called the Energizer Bunny because I'm like, guys, we're going to doing this next.
we just don't really sleep. Like we
That's
just keep
okay.
going.
So I've thought this for a long time about Bob because Bob occasionally partakes in a couple drinks. Uh, as you can see if you're watching. But when we're raiding, he does. And I was always like, listen, I drink sometimes. I'm always way too tired to be up at like 1 in the morning raiding, having been drinking all night. And then the real reason he's the Energizer Bunny, this dude drinks like vodka
Red
Red
Bull
Bulls
vodka.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's
The good old
drinking
days.
energy drinks. You know they
yeah,
had to ban Four Loco, okay? They when it had caffeine in it.
yeah. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, how are you still
Definitely not.
going? You're like sneaking off to the side with an energy drink. You're drinking down a bang real quick. What do you mean? Let's go.
Oh, but you
No,
know,
for real though. Okay, you guys though, before we move on, can we take a bet on when we think Bob is going to die on his solo hardcore character?
What is it?
Okay,
Warlock?
Bob,
It's a
what's your
warlock.
character?
Warlock.
What
Are you
level
going
are you
Gamo?
right
Are you going
now?
Soul Link?
I am gonna go 5 of 5 in corruption first because you just got to do that.
Are you going with my build?
I've got the video actually up on tab right
If you
right
do that
now.
video and you know what you're doing with the Warlock, you can make it easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Even the mistakes, I've never had to use my like in depth that long time like Warlock. I haven't used any of those like instincts or nothing. Like not even like a panic mode once.
I'll
as long as you
basically.
understand.
I mean, I've worked up multiple warlocks over my time with WoW, and basically everybody says that the Voidwalker can't keep aggro, but if you play it right, he can. Like if you just dot and just wand, like he's gonna keep aggro, and you're never gonna have to drink. Like it's.
That's what I say to people all the time. Is people hate on the Voidwalker because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, because they're
If
spamming
he-
fucking Shadow Bolt, and it's
Yeah,
like,
if
dude.
he touches him first, and you would look at that taunt, and you look because you have it off auto because he spins. He'll taunt when you don't want him to. It just wastes so much downtime from mana. And once he has a taunt off, you can go.
Well,
No,
and then
David, like you said, they're just Shadow Bolt thing. No, just put some dots up in one.
well,
Bob's
and
had a lot
half of the
confidence for a
people
level 11.
like
Yeah,
like,
that's the worst time, dude. Up to 10 is shit until you get Voidwalker. It's so I hate the imp play and play. It's just so like, especially with all
Also-
the mobs around and fighting for mobs, and you have to go to these caves and respawns. And,
yeah, respawns can be like fast. Like I remember killing one guy in one spot 4 times before I could get my grapes. And freaking
exactly, yeah.
Okay,
Even
okay,
the
okay.
Voidwalker quest is aids.
I'm
But-
gonna go 36. Level 36.
Yeah,
36.
36. Yeah, that's about
I
right.
think 33 personally.
I think
but-
I think around there is about right. That sounds about good.
Yeah.
That's
Warlock,
about a
you'll
humble.
be
That's a
sick.
humble death for a good Warlock.
a
Mine was
Wrathy
mine was-
Highlands could
mine was
definitely be a
41.
death spot for me.
Yeah, mine was STV is what I would say you were at. STV is rough. STV I had to lose one too. I lost one at 41 because you have to really respect how dense the mobs are out there and how hard it is to get away from mobs there by yourself with a pet and everything too.
STV's bad even without PvP.
Yeah, but you just leave the
Oh,
pet.
yeah.
You
Oh,
just leave the
yeah.
pet to die. You just like
Exactly.
you
yep.
just have the pet attacking
Mhm.
everything
Just
while you're
attack him when he
booking
is
it.
away.
Like
Yep. Yeah, but I'm saying it sounds easy, but there's a lot of people out there now too, and there's people who try to greet people with hardcore tags. It's a good spot to try to greet people because
Yeah.
hunter pets. There's a lot of
I-
hunter animals out there.
I thought about not even
And Booty
turning
Bay.
that tag on just so people didn't notice, but then I turned it on anyhow. I ain't scared.
Yeah, and watch Booty Bay because people like to stand on the flight path and shit to where you like attack them and it flies.
hmm
Ugh.
Booty Bay. I
Those
I'm
evil
gonna have
people.
a
I don't even
nightmare
think I'd
there.
enter Booty Bay.
Well, no, you're fine. You're just what I would do. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't even heard of it happening since SOM started. But when it happened on like Classic era, I would just you know how your mouse is a hand and it turns into a sword. You
Mm.
just look at your mouse thing. If it turns into a sword, don't touch it. Also, the hardcore add-on, whenever you target something, it says this is a PvP tune. Like, don't, you are targeting a PvP character right now. He's flagged. You kind of get a big ass warning. It makes a loud sound.
I've not
and
seen
stuff.
that yet. Because
Nice.
I
Yeah.
Okay.
not made it very far.
You'll see it in like, you'll see it in like Swamp of Sorrows is big because that's like a big horde place. So they had those guards walking around everywhere, the PvP guards. And I flagged myself like 4 fucking times when I was there. It was so stressful because it's like only 5 minutes and there's no alliance flight path there. So you're like, I have to hearth. The first time I was like, I'm not going to hearth because I had to go all the way from Storming and run back here and stuff.
Mm.
And then I did it again. I fucking just sent my automatically dotted him because I had a tab target dotted. I was like, oh shit. And at that time it was like 200-300 people watching. It's like, nah, bro, someone's just waiting right here to fucking get me. I was like, I'm
Oh my
thirsty.
god.
Yeah, and then I come back, Hearth's on cooldown, I do it again. And that time everything's on cooldown. So I was like, whatever, dude, I'm not gonna be a bitch. And then I didn't die, thankfully.
Dude, I've had like there's so much stuff because I haven't had any. We've had 3 bag drops on my duo team, and I haven't had a bag drop yet. But I'm doing tailoring on my solo, but I haven't gotten enough linen yet to like make it so making bolts isn't orange. And I want to wait till, that's like, like I want to get all that. So
Me
I
farm.
think,
I was the same way.
I think-
went and farmed the linen
yeah.
because I was getting pissed off. I
I
was
think
like,
that's
I'm
what
not
I'm
getting
gonna
enough
do.
linen.
Every
to
warlock I
justify-
farm, I'm like level like right 10, and I'll go farm 56 linen, which gets you your lesser, and then you just gradually get cloth, make the white linen robes, disenchant or brown, the spirit ones, and then disenchant those, and then slowly level up your enchanting over time to like level like 15, 16, then you can greater, and then that greater will carry you into like 27. Or I didn't do that because it's so hard to farm linen because it's so packed on launch that you just start dark sword at level 13, you'll get a wand. It's a little bit, it's not as good as the other ones you can get, but that's what I did.
Or if you're not going tailoring, this is unrelated to wands. This is bags. You can just buy the bags. I don't know how many people know that. I assume a lot of
5
hardcore
silver.
people know this. 5 silver, buy a bag.
What?
5 silver
From, like,
for that 6
Unbelievable
yeah.
amount of vendors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any
There's 8
any
slots, too.
general goods vendor.
Son
Yeah.
of a biscuit. Okay, I'm doing that.
The one right in
Yeah.
Goldshire has one. The one way out far east of the East of the Lodging Camp, there's one. There's actually a bag
Sentinel
vendor out
Hill.
there. That's why I
Sentinel
say
Hill has one.
yeah, you go skinning and you just skin for an hour, but you can skin mobs at level 1. You can get once you get the Goldshire level 6, you can skin and just grind mobs from level 6
I've got
to 10
almost
skinning
a
and then
gold
be
from
juiced.
skinning.
So-
So
Oh,
I
yeah,
can,
it's
I'll go buy
Goldshire.
bags. Oh my
You're
god.
leveling
Goldshire,
tailoring.
right? There's the innkeeper right there, right behind the bar. There's the dude. Talk to him. Boom, bags.
Yeah,
And you can also get
if
10
you're
slots,
leveling
so 8 and
tailoring
10s.
anyway, it's okay. Like you're still gonna get points anyway. It just depends on what you're doing. Like if you have a tailor, you could make the bags, but you do have to go spend the time getting the linen that you could be.
And you will
spending
eventually need
skinning
leather to make
and getting-
bags too.
I
Which means you need
spent
fishing.
all today, like with just running, having to run back, like to go sell and run back to the quest and run back to sell and run back to the quest.
This is the best part of hardcore, though. Like having the knowledge ahead of time as you go in gives you like an interesting advantage. Like I knew there were bags for sale, so it's like it's like you have to know these like obscure things where it does not matter that there's
Or
6
just
slots
like you
bags
can,
for
or a
sale.
lot of people just watch like a hardcore streamer sometimes, or
Yeah.
like look at the Discord, or just kind of annoying. Look at Discords, but you can like it's gotta be easier way to get bags. Because at first I was making them with tailoring. I was like, dude, there's gotta be. But yeah, you can make them, but you can farm the gold. That's 5 silver so much faster. Well, 20 silver. And then what's crazy is you don't even need all 5 either, because I just go with 3, and then you usually will find hopefully 1. You don't always, but usually you might get 1 in the back end of like 12 or something. But it's always worth it.
Man.
Information is definitely like the king of hardcore. It feels like
That's why all the highest level people in the 60s have been doing this forever. They've been doing it.
Oh wow. All right. Well. Well, so much more to do, and that's what's making Season of Mastery exciting for me. So, do you want to go over anything in Raid? Yep.
Yeah, I do want to go over Raid. 'cause
Go
Raid was
over
incredible.
it.
So, I don't want to say this out loud because it's embarrassing, but I'm going to do it anyway. We were 10 out of 10 like a month ago, and this is only our second 10 out of 10 week that we've done. We had a little struggle bus moment with shifting of players.
At the
Mel, you're-
holidays.
in the holidays where we only had one raid night
It's not
last
fair.
week and stuff like that. I agree it's not fair, but it is still the truth that we only had
Sure.
one 10 of 10 week up until this week that we came back
Ooh.
strong. We recruited a couple of people. We have 2 new warriors. We unfortunately one of my very good friends, our survival hunter, got moved to the healer group, which has like opened up a few more interesting slots and possibilities for people. The druid gets to pump now, which is good. So we're doing a lot of damage. The warriors bring a ton of trash clearing ability. I guess I didn't really process because we haven't had any DPS warriors how well warriors perform on trash. Like their overall damage numbers
Oh
are
man,
actually
bonkers,
bonkers.
bananas,
Yeah, I was like, these are
fucking bananas, bro.
these are
They also
incredible.
die a
Having
lot.
physical warlocks. They do
God,
die.
private server warriors were so bad at the game. It's crazy because I would never, over the years on private servers, you would rarely ever, if at all, see a warrior doing anything close to the amount of overall damage these guys are doing until T6.
Yeah, we are
Crazy.
we recruited a Fury Warrior who is exceptional, and he is beating out some Morlocks
Yeah.
and overall
That's
damage, and
battle chicken shit, 5 stack, and
it's
then give him a good group. It's pretty crazy, dude. Respectful. I respect it. And if anybody who knows me knows that I shit talk melee a lot before launch, so I've had to eat those where I've had a few people come in there like, "Yo, Fury?" I'm like, "Nah, relax."
Well, okay, like people try to like make us eat shit too, but we always stated at the start they do damage. It's just a tough expansion for them as far as mechanics go. They do
Yeah.
damage.
It's
We
just
we
I
never
think what
said
we
they
forget about
didn't.
is its bosses that people were thinking more on and forgetting that Classic was not about bosses like private servers
it's
and
all
more
trash.
about the trash, yes. Yep.
Yeah, and that's how we feel. I mean, it's
Private servers are more
we
unforgiving too.
noticeably are going faster on trash.
Mm.
Um, we were at one point, it it budgeted in my head 30 minutes a wing for TK, like 30 minutes to do Alar, 30 minutes to finish Void Reaver, 30 minutes to do Solarian. We now yesterday, I think we were done Solarian like 50 minutes into raid or something. And it was
Oh,
just
that's
like,
good.
okay, this is like we weren't even like trying to go much faster other than just like we're just pulling at our comfortable speed. So things are going really, really well. We actually had a good Alar. We haven't had a good Alar this entire phase. I felt like an idiot this
That's
whole time. Everyone's
What's the
making
issue?
fun of us. I don't know. It's it's just I think it was just living for so many phases up top. Like they weren't horrible Alars. It's not like we had like
Oh, is it
really
like
bad.
DPS, lower DPS?
we
I
Maybe
don't.
didn't
through phase
wipe a
1?
lot. We didn't wipe a
Yeah.
lot on Alar. We just lost an unusual amount of people.
When you look at like
Huh.
how people parse on most fights, and then you would look at our Alars, you'd be like, "What is happening here?"
Yeah, it's like we normally have 90s and 80s parsers across the guild, and then it's like 60s and 70s.
Yeah, just bad kill times. Everything was I don't know, maybe it was just the routing
You have a lot
or
of melee?
maybe yeah, well, we actually have more melee now with these warriors.
That's a bit that's gonna suck.
But it worked better with the Warriors. I don't think it was the Warriors. It might have just been the pathing. This is the first time that he just like went around in a circle like in a row as opposed to like going back and forth. Maybe that was better for the melee. I'm not sure. But we got it down really well. Finally got my 99 on Alar, so I can I can put my defensive gear back
There
on,
you
Mel.
go.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
won't die as much. But yeah, other than that, everything went really, really smooth in that raid, and I feel like we're like at our strongest point now. I'm kind of looking forward to what we can do in Black Temple and stuff because we kind of had a rocky start. Our raid comp switched around a lot in the first phase, so going into phase 2, we were in like a really awkward position where like a lot of us hadn't raided together, or like a few of us hadn't, and we were coming in thinking that we had like 50 people from vanilla started playing TBC with us. Then all of a sudden we were down to like 30, and then half of them weren't in classic with us. It's like, where did all these people go?
Well,
So
and
we had to
Yeah.
like readjust.
phase 1 is just a poorly designed phase for a 25-man raid. Like we had so many people, me included, butt hurt if like you don't get in the 25-man that week, and like all kinds of just drama
I
crap
was
that
not
doesn't
butthurt.
need to be there. And like that's the problem you have when you have, and then on top of it, you have all these different tanks you don't need for 25 man, but you have them for Kara. And it's just like, it's such a
Yeah. It
weird
is a weird
situation.
transition from phase 1 to 2, which I think is probably initially why it was one phase, right? But I think it was better. I think it allowed us to kind of get our bearings and
Yeah.
everything. What I will say is one thing about Alar and the healing, which happens more often, where like you'll stack up for the drop thing.
And then people run like out of range of you, right? Is that
And then yeah, people run out of range, but then it's like my favorite comment is when everybody's like, somebody heal Yip. Guys, somebody heal Yip." Like, I'm not seeing Yip dying on my bars and I'm not trying to heal Yip, right? Like, is anybody not healing you at that moment? Like, if they can, you know what I mean?
here's the thing though, is I do die a lot from
Uh-huh.
not getting healed at all. And I don't know
Cuz
if it's like
it's
I
cuz you run too far away from me.
I stand in the middle of the room where Alar is. So for me, it's like I understand that it's probably like you're just not in range. And even if someone says heal Yip, that doesn't make you in range of me. But it's just sort of like, what else is there to say? Like no one else just knows what to say. Like it's just a reminder that there's no more damage coming out, other than the charge that he does. The only new damage is going to be on Yip. Heal Yip. but like at that phase, like some people get hit and they get knocked back, or they're dumb and they're standing in fire. But those people don't deserve heals. Only I deserve some heals. But yeah, I mean, Alar is a little bit weird with that, and maybe I think maybe the problem too is often on a fight like Alar, we use charts a lot. We use pictures. We'll be like, okay, first everyone run down this way. Then if there's fire there, we'll run this way. And we've never done it with Alar, and I feel like that would help a lot. I don't know what it is, but those anytime we have a picture of where people should
Speaking of
stand,
which, that site that our guild leader uses for the pictures, I believe I recommended it to Harskar after watching a Crix video, something.io. What is it?
The editor one.
Yeah.
The raid planner.
Yep. I got that from Crix.
Oh, love it.
wow,
So helpful.
I'll,
There you
I'll
go.
put me full circle here, but that helps
Yeah,
a lot.
right.
We got KT down good. That was kind of nice. We normally don't do really well, or like we struggle because we just haven't got. This is only our third kill of KT, I think, which is just not that many. But it went really well. A
This
couple
was
of
the first kill that
warriors.
I survived the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, our clean kill was like very clean until right at the end. But even right at the end, it was like dead at that point. Yeah, at
Yeah.
3%, I think the prop paladin died just hanging the phoenixes. But that's like no damage at all, and it died in a gravity lapse, I think. But when we did it right, everything was really good. I think our biggest problem, and other people struggling probably have this problem too, is the Thaladred kiting part is the most important part, it feels
Mhm.
like, of the entire fight. How well you kite so that range CPS kills Thaladred fast it was a game changer. We were going in at one point with like one guy almost full health, basically, like 80% health on our first couple of pulls, where it was like, this is sketchy. And then the time that we did it right, we were like waiting 15 seconds. Nothing was
Yeah.
up. We were
Mhm.
Yeah,
waiting for
everything
him to
was
come
dead.
out. Yeah, like it was insane how much the damage difference was. So,
Also, I found out that so you know how we go pick up weapons, right? So I go to pick up my weapon, and I don't know why the cosmic infuser is always like underneath every single other weapon, which is so annoying. So I took Yip's advice and I picked up all the weapons,
yep.
and then I finally get the cosmic infuser, right? And I go to put it on, and I'm in combat, so it won't equip.
You can
So I
equip in
can't
combat.
equip. Well, it wouldn't.
Oh,
Mhm.
because you were using item rack. Item rack still
I
has
wasn't
that
using item
bug.
rack.
Yep.
Item.
Yep.
It's not a bug. Item rack queues items in there. It doesn't put it on. So it
Yeah, but
queues
how
it
do I put
after
it?
you get out
Do
of
I have to
combat.
like
You have to
drag
You
actually
it?
go.
literally have to
You have
drag
to
it.
open your bag and right click it. What I do is
Oh.
there's a macro you can do. You can just do like / equip, staff disintegration for casters, whatever.
Yeah,
Or you
that's what
can
I
just
usually do. I couldn't find my
Just
macro
put
on
it
my
on your
yeah,
bars.
or what?
bar one
Yeah, that's what I
time.
do. Every
Yes,
time I do is when
exactly.
I pick it up one time. This next time we do it, for instance, pick it up. Be careful about picking it up. Equip it. Turn to activate it, and then click and drag it to wherever you want in your action bars. So
Yeah,
every
yeah,
week
yeah.
now from now on, you just got to know that you picked it up, and you press that whatever keybind that is, and it'll equip it for you, and you press it again.
I have the macro and it's on my bars, but at the time I couldn't find it.
Mm.
Hold on, though, Mel.
So
We just had a Bingo Jones moment where you said you didn't use item rack, and I just realized you didn't
oh
realize that clicking on one of your items in your character doll and seeing the other items list out is item rack.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
changed my tune there. I said yes, okay, yes I do. But I wasn't like I was right clicking it from my bag into my slot and it wouldn't work. And then
That
I
is
tried to
weird.
use the item rack and then it like put it as a little like picture in picture thing up there and I was like, what the fuck is that? What does
That
that
means
Just
it's
be
mean?
queued.
careful.
It means
I
that
don't.
means that item and whatever's in the little box is going to be queued as soon as the combat ends. It's going to equip it for you.
Yeah. So like if I'm going into like Hydros on the last pull before it, I can queue it up and then I don't even
Mhm.
have to remember once the combat ends, I'll
Exactly.
switch
Mm.
into the
Like where
resist set.
we speed run the raids, and on lurker at the lurker we use rocket boots a little bit, so we have everything queued up during lurker. So when lurker comes on, we're already running, and rocket boots is already on with us having to do it, so we can use it. That's the quickest way you can use it with everybody using it on time.
Got it.
Pop's face. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
not a
we are.
speedrun guild. That is not what
Yeah, it's
we
not
do.
fun. I don't really like it that much,
That's
man. To be honest.
exactly how we do it.
But what I do for that fight, I have to use different weapons for that fight. I use the dagger and the sword. I just every week I don't even put a macro on. I just put them down and I just click the buttons I need to click with
Mhm.
my mouse. I just have all the weapons on my bars and then I'll set them when I pick them up the first time. because we have time. We have like 30 seconds to pick up the weapons and like get it situated. So, but yeah, that item rack stuff is annoying. And I think though, if you're on GCD, right clicking does not put your weapon on. I think you actually have to be off
Mm.
the
Yeah,
GCD.
you're true. That is
So you
true.
might have like
Oh, good
shielded and
call.
then right clicked.
That's true.
Because I do that a lot where because some fights I'll go from dual wield to using a shield and I'll like have hit my shield button a few times and I'm like, why is my shield not on? And it's because I'm still like pressing buttons to hitting the boss and
Oh.
I need to
Yeah, or
like
like an ambush. I have a rogue on hardcore, and it's a sub rogue, but I don't want to fire with my dagger all the time, so I have an ambush. So it puts the dagger on and then ambushes, but I'll put the dagger on GCD and then ambush, or vice versa. I won't put the weapon on if you do it.
yeah,
Also, the first
so
thing you do is what's the first thing you do when you put that weapon on though? At KT,
which weapon?
whatever one you pick up.
First
Well,
thing you do, you use it. You
I
gotta
use
use
it.
it.
I mean,
Use your trap.
I have Shadow Bolt set to
You
use it.
oil it.
Oh, you
Oh,
oil
I
it.
I
Okay,
did do
Warlock.
that. I did bring extra this
That's super
time, so
hardcore.
I oiled
It's
each
so
time.
much damage, extra damage on each
Oh
person.
yeah,
Does it.
definitely.
Okay, but
I
I'm a
did bring the
healer. You're a
cheaper oil though.
healer.
I did bring
Well,
the cheaper
for
oil.
well, think about let's think about a healer. You have a 30-second down phase to do that. You don't have to heal anybody because you get all your mana back. Everybody gets everything back right after the end of that phase, and that
Really?
gives you how much? Yeah, how much healing does that brilliant wizard oil give you? That
It's
extra
like
healing. You ever
it's
have
like
healing
80,
troubles?
right?
Yeah. Do
No,
you ever
we
have
really
healing
don't
troubles?
have healing troubles though, I
Oh,
feel
okay.
like.
Well, I feel like that extra healing. You know what I
Our
mean?
healing I'm not blaming the healers for this, okay?
Oh,
But our
yeah.
healers will
Okay.
just get
Okay.
exploded by phoenixes. So it's not a healer problem with that healing output. It's like at the beginning of that phase, suddenly all the healers are dead. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
what
oil is
happened
nice.
over
That's a
there?
lot of little healing. That's a lot. That's big palms. That's big shields. That's big everything. Circles. Running
I
from those phoenixes. Circle beyond spam.
I did have a new job this week. I got to follow our prot pally around and make sure the staff buff was on him. So that was actually fun because like I could see myself instead of being in the cluster of everybody else. Like, and so I was just like, all right, get with the pally. Shadow Bolt, because that casts my thing. And so I'm just like, and I was pretty sure that was the instruction that I got. But at the end, I had to ask, I was like, did I do the right thing? And they're like, yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah, it's not equipment on there. I did
In
my shadow
our
yesterday.
in our other KT kill, so I hate those freaking fireballs this idiot casts, okay? As the main tank. I hate those
All those
stupid things.
pyros.
Yeah, and oh, not the pyro. I mean
Oh.
the fireball. The like
Oh.
normal one that can be interrupted normally.
Yeah.
Because our other kills, we were running an enhanced shaman that would interrupt and a rogue that would interrupt. And the enhanced shaman gets resisted like a reasonable amount of time. So there's always times where I'm like, but this time we had two rogues, two warriors. And I think one of the mages was helping, and I was just like, none of these fireballs are coming out. I don't even have to worry. But every week I'm just like, because
But they
I
did
hate that
come
shield
out,
cast.
remember?
I got hit with one on our kill,
Mm.
which is allowed as long as I have like it just depends
But
on
you
what
had
else is
such
going
epic
on.
heals that it didn't matter.
We
Did you
did
use the
have
bulwark for it?
so I use it for the first one. Usually I'll bulwark for the first one.
And it
But
kills
then
shock
after
barrier
that,
fast enough to interrupt it? Or is the shock
oh,
barrier
for
not
yeah,
going
yeah,
fast
for
down fast?
pyro, yeah, you got to
Okay.
bulwark the first one. But actually, this week I didn't even need to bulwark those. We're killing the shock barrier like insanely fast with these
There you
warriors.
go.
I don't want to just say it's the warriors. Everyone's coming together, but
Who
having
needs
the
nerfs?
warriors, yeah. We also 5 healed all of TK for the first
Ooh.
time,
I'm fucking sick of
and
TK,
all of
man.
SSC.
I'm tired
Normally
of
we bring in
TK.
it. Say again.
I'm tired of TK, man. It's just miserable.
TK
I don't
feels
like
worse.
TK, man. I don't
It's
like it
just
at
a
all.
long, easy, worthless fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what sucks. That's what Mount Hydro's gonna feel like too. Everyone's gonna hate Mount Hydro. It's gonna be hyped for a little bit, literally a little bit, because the waves I think are gonna fuck people up, and then it's gonna be miserable. And everyone's gonna love Black Temple though.
Yep.
There's
Wait, you
never
like
just an equal
SSC
raid.
a lot
I
better
like
than
SSC. Oh, I love SSC. It's one of my favorite raids. If you think about like the aesthetics and the bosses and the mechanics, kind of, Lady
I
Vibes
I like
mechanics are
SSC.
cool.
SSC trash is just a little bit more work for me as the tank. TK trash, like
Oh,
TK
poor
is nice
baby.
on Thursdays because I can just turn my brain off. Everything's so easy,
Don't
and
worry,
like
you're a
every,
warrior. You can get ready to be sat for Mount Hydro if you need to.
Well,
Hey, the new
you
meta is double
guys,
feral. You know the new meta
I
is
know the
double
news.
feral prop pally, bud.
I have a feral. ready to go.
Yes, Yip has been preparing for this moment.
However, I play warrior at a level that we could not replace me at. That is
That's good.
currently. That is
You're
like
gonna need it in Black Temple. That's war is good in Black Temple 4. You're good.
yeah. That's what I'm hoping. But I know I'm really falling
Mount
behind
Hydro,
on my
you'll
druid.
get to AFK.
I'm not attuned to anything on my druid yet. I'm attuned to SSC. I'm not attuned to TK. I'm like not close to TK though. So I'm just like I really need to catch up on my druid in case it's like really good. But then I hate myself because I do all the raid like grouping as well too. And I'm just like, oh, if I was a feral, this group would be popping off better with another leader of the pack. But
I would just
nope.
passively try to, because you want it. More importantly than that is, even if you know, like the attunement will be lifted probably when T6 comes out. I would assume
Yeah.
phase 3, but you
Yeah.
need the gear too. Like you want the gear to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
in, right?
yeah. I'm stocking up. I have like the phase one stuff. And then I'm stocking up arena points to put on some arena gear. But yeah, I do need to start getting into more raids with my feral. But
CA will be a nice catch up, but that's a while.
yeah, that's true. I'm also like I'm not a doomer. Like I see there's a lot of like warrior doomers, and I'm kind of like I can do it all on my warrior. I bet I could maintain all
Yeah,
of
we
this
have a
on
warrior
my
still in
warrior.
ours, in our guild. We're a
Like
pretty good guild.
I don't think it would ever be a problem, and I kind of like the game, and I know Warrior better, so I have like so many different gear sets that I have, and I really enjoy that part of the game. I'm planning, and I'm like, what piece could I use that would make this better? Like I went and got my season 2 gloves for a single boss because I was like, I don't have any resilience gloves that have 2% threat on them, so like I can get the season 2 put 2% threat. And it's like I like doing that stuff, and with Druid, I
That's
just like
good.
I don't know what I'm doing at all. I just
Dominic,
hit swipe.
yeah, definitely run. You can definitely go warrior the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's we'll see what happens. But Druid's cool, but I like Warrior a lot.
Warrior looks fun. I wouldn't want to play a druid either.
There's more buttons. You have so many more
Yeah.
buttons to push. Which at first I was like, I'm gonna love Druid because there's not much to do. Because my normal play style, I like not having a lot to do. People
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, maybe it's only Frostbolt in Classic." That sounds awesome. I love just hitting one button. That's sick. But
Yeah.
But when you're tanking with the druid, it just doesn't feel that good. You have like 3 buttons they're hidden. You're like, oh, lacerate, swipe. Haha, this is cool. And then just you have no other. There's just nothing else to do. Like there's no other part of the game for you.
You should try playing a resto druid in arena and tell me that there's nothing to do,
No,
because
Yeah,
that
totally different
shit, let me
story.
that's
tell
not what I
you,
mean. That's not what I
I'm
mean.
like, what?
There's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
fun
Uh,
as resto druid.
but yeah, we had an incredible raid. That's the moral of the story.
Yep. Well,
Good.
let's move into the news. So, in the news, congrats to who? The guild that first killed Rag in Season of Mastery. It's not hardcore, of course. It's on Dreadnought EU. They claim the first Rag kill. It's kind of funny, that this comes so much later than the original Classic launch. Like it just goes to show you. Like we had one listener write in saying maybe it's because people were doing, which we're going to talk about honor here in a second, but maybe people were doing the honor grind first. But I still think if the hardcore guilds that were there in Classic were there, they'd be doing both. Like they would have had it cleared
Oh,
immediately.
that would, yeah, way clear. They would clear way earlier. It's not that many people doing it.
Yeah, I guess my biggest question though is during a world pandemic, shouldn't the World Health Organization be doing something other than playing WoW? What's the WHO doing here? Come on.
Oh,
They're good.
good call. Yeah, that
Come on.
They're
no,
pretty
it
good.
just
That's a
hit.
good
It just
guild.
hit. That was pretty funny.
The guild is called WHO, Bob. Let's come on.
But yeah, so Rags has been cleared. Like the comp
Oh,
was
yeah.
interesting. Like it's like mostly warriors again, and then a lot of hunters. I thought that was interesting. Because
That's what they had.
maybe, but like everybody was
Does
talking, there's going to
anybody,
be less warriors.
sorry, I had to walk away, but does anybody like care about who killed Rag World first season of Mastery, not hardcore? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on.
They
Or
should.
not.
I think it's cool. It's cool that they made these bosses a lot harder, but I do think, and
Okay,
maybe it's
fair.
just people were around as well. The
If we
hardcore
didn't,
had kind of overshadowed the normal season of mastery stuff.
if we
That
didn't
Yeah.
already go in there on the beta a month ago and clap it out, it'd be more interesting. But we've already been done, man. We did it. We
that's
did it on the
another
beta
part.
already. That's why we
I
didn't
was
care about doing it on SOM.
I was
We
super
already did it.
against beta and PT. I know you have to test this stuff, but the fact that it's season of mastery and they're giving people PTRs and betas to clear the bosses ahead of time is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Leave the bugs in. I don't care. Make it
Yeah,
hard.
I really hope that they don't leave the T6 PCR out for nearly as much as long as they did T5. Maybe a week. Do something. you know.
Yeah,
But
I would love to go in, see a night of trash, but, like, do I really want people actually practicing
yeah,
in there? Like, I
like
don't know.
living in there 7 days a week type shit. Like, well, relax,
Well,
dude.
Yeah.
you say leave the bugs in, but we had the KT bug
Oh,
for
you were
weeks into phase, 2, and
Yeah, and if they had not had a PTR, we wouldn't be blaming them.
fair. Okay,
We'd be like, "Hey,
true.
reasonable. We asked for
fair.
no PTR," and
That's a good point, bro. What was the PTR for?
yeah.
Yep, very, very fair. I actually
Excellent point, bro.
knew that reply as soon as I made the question. I just wanted you to do it.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
and then in other news, now this is where it starts to get fun because we got two fun things. The next one I think is the most fun, but this one's pretty fun. So the PvP honor system, they were gonna make it to where you got twice as much points. And then people started finding like 2 weeks went by and they're like, wait a second, this seems just as slow as it was before. So Blizzard looks into it and they try to fix it. But what they do in trying to fix it is they give too much honor to the people. So now you got rank 12s walking around start of week 3 in Season of Mastery. Rank 12s. And now they're saying, don't enchant your gear because we might be taking it back. It's a shit show right now. There's so many high rank people that should not even be
Have you
close
not
to that
heard?
rank.
Have you not heard? I thought you were going to talk about something else. Have you not heard what happened?
Oh no, that's next. That's
Okay,
next.
yeah, shut
But
up.
this is
Yeah.
I'm saving the best for last.
Keep going. I'll shut up. Yeah, just making sure. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this is the PvP debacle, and basically there's rank 12s walking around right now in Season of Mastery. They haven't fixed it yet, but they say like they haven't said if they're for sure going to take gear and stuff back, but there's people walking around with the mounts, like they get the mounts cheaper. Like, there's a whole bunch.
It made me realize that, yes, this is faster than they were supposed to be, but considering in the same week, people were just clearing Molten Core for the first time, I still think that there's a gearing issue between how quickly you can get the PvP gear compared
Right.
to the gear you'd
I
get
think
in
it's
Raid.
crazy that people want to rank again, dude.
That's like
Right?
the clear
Well,
What the hell, dude?
But
gearing
if you
path.
could get rank 12
Yeah, and
on the start of week 3, I mean, geez Louise, like
But hey,
these
but
Well,
people
what's
are
the
going to be
point?
in
You're not
next
gonna
gear.
take it anywhere.
Rank
You're not
12
gonna
was
take
where
it
the gear
anywhere.
was pretty much
Yeah,
a good amount of gear, I think, if I recall correctly, right?
Dude,
10, 12.
that's fair.
yeah, 10 and up is like, I mean,
Pretty
the
good gear.
gear is unbelievable. The weapons for melee classes, you're not even going to replace till Nax and sometimes even KT for certain classes. It's
I'm
nuts.
surprised that people even want to play. I mean, play it again, man. I get the changes, but there weren't drastic changes. The raids are still easy.
I think that's why
No.
hardcore is having such a swelling for
Yeah.
Season of Mastery. It's like
Yeah.
it's cool, but like we're really gonna go back and do
The
just
same thing.
normal.
Do Molten Core
Why don't you
again.
try to do that without dying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring something else to it. So what else,
I want to
Bob?
do.
What
I
else
want
did
to
they
do.
bring?
I want to do. They're not in the TBC. I'm a big TBC guy and Lich stuff. I'm not really a big classic guy. I quit classic, but I want to do like get like 12, 13 people to do a Karazhan one.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
would actually
fun.
be really cool. That'd
That
be
would be
really
way
fun.
better. Let's dedicate
And
get like 10, 12 dedicated people to be like, all right, man, bust out the next 3 months. Let's get partied up, duo up, and let's see if we can get a group of people to fucking
You
easy
want a
1 to
hardcore to
58.
Kara?
Well, if you think about it, Kara's not that bad anymore, and it's nerf
Yeah.
state too, so it's really not that bad. But I think Gruels would be hiking would be AIDS trying to do that at hardcore, and once again, that's 25 people. This is just simply to find 10, 11, 12 diehard TBC fans that want to go see if they can clap out the legendary Karazhan. Probably not Nightbane, no Nether Spike, just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, well, I just thought it was pretty funny, and it's still not completely fixed. We don't know what's going to happen if they're going to take away these ranks or what, but there's people running around with level 12 gear. Oh man, shaking my head. But the best part is what happened just recently. So, I saw this today and I thought it was a joke because the guy that I saw, the first YouTube video I saw was a guy that makes all kinds of joke videos. I forget his name, but he's a real funny guy. He makes little short joke videos. Like,
Asimus?
is it the guy that does like playing a feral in Classic and he's like getting kicked out of
Yeah.
his guild. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Azimuth. Yeah.
Hilarious guy, right? And he shows it and he's like, I know I make a lot of meme videos, but this is real. And I was like, and I of course didn't believe him. So I had to go look it up and it was true. They made a mistake and you were able to transfer to one of the Season of Mastery servers using a character from Classic Era. So all of a sudden, the AQ mount is on Season of Mastery, like corrupted Ashbringers are on Season of Mastery. All these people with all the endgame gear are in there. They're going in and they're just laying waste to people in Alterac Valley, which if I could have transferred, I'm sad I missed out on these hours of fun because like I would have loved to take my fully geared warrior in Mortal Strike and just destroy everybody. But yeah, this happened. They actually had to shut the server down. What server was it? Lionheart
Lionheart.
AU. So Oceanic. They had to shut it down. This I don't know how to fix this. They're gonna have to go through. There could have been people trading gold. It could have changed hands
believe-
multiple times now. Like that server is screwed. They're gonna have to roll it
Kind of
back.
it's kind of like a new world of fuck up for that server, bro. They kind of
we were talking about this last week. The fact that the infrastructure is on the same systems, Classic Era and Season of Mastery being the same game, and then we're talking about, like,
God.
oh, we can't do like major class changes because Season of Mastery and Classic Era are the same, and like where would you take the characters later? Oh, look, you can just transfer between them too. Like it's almost ridiculous the way that they handle these servers and games, where they should just be separate games, and this couldn't be more proof. A week after we're complaining about it, this happens because of it. Like in an MMO, these sort of things are game ruining. Like you can't ruin a server like this. Otherwise, the hardcore people are fine though. Like the hardcore people
Yeah,
can
we're
ignore
greasy.
stuff like this.
We're
But a
complaining 'cause a
normal
lot of
player,
grease and stuff, but we're doing
yeah,
all right.
other than grieving, but like these sort of server issues that don't affect that as much. But if you're a normal player, like you've got to feel like this has been a tanked season mastery thing. Like this is just it's just too crazy.
I mean, they're gonna have to roll the server back. Like, there's no way they're gonna be able to find all the cash that's changed hands and everything else because people like Black Lotus just got spread everywhere. Like it's
Yeah,
got to be bad.
Like as soon as they realized it was bugged, they just went and abused it. Probably traded everything just in case.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I would have. Hey, like,
Mhm.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
Yep. Goddamn right.
yeah. So yeah, I thought that was hilarious. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to really say about it, but yikes.
It's just sad. It's a sad state of events, and it ties in way too well with what we were talking about last week from that interview. Uh, just and it's one of those things that they put themselves into that corner, right? It's not something that was unavoidable. It's, hey, how do we put out Season of Mastery as quickly and easy as possible? And then we're getting the consequences of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, we're also seeing, no TBC news for like weeks now. Like we're seeing the WoW Classic team is focused on one thing at a time, and that's all we're getting. I'm hoping to God we get some info on when
Something, though.
Phase 3 is coming out.
Something, man. I hope it comes. I mean, I assume like New Year at least. I would hope they don't just go, "Hey guys, Tuesday," like this Tuesday, but "Hey guys, Tuesday, PTR's up."
I mean, I feel like
Have some respect for this game, please.
so this is the next week. Like this next week is the last week of non-nerfed bosses. I feel like that's when we should be going to the next phase, but I don't know that
Mhm.
that's actually going to happen. So
I would suspect they would have a couple of weeks of nerfed bosses, and then at least the way they handled it, right, trying to put it out early. They were trying to get the nerfs out before the next tier, clearly. So I think it would make sense that we'll have a couple of weeks without it, but that should still mean January, like early January, mid January is when the next phase should be rolling out. But we haven't heard anything. We haven't
I'm
heard a
worried
date
about.
or PTR.
I'm worried about how easy T6 is going to be because how much people complained about being 8 to 10.
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
the other thing. This is what we all wanted. Like I thought we all
Mhm.
agreed that being 8 of 10 was like a cool thing and that was fine.
Okay.
I think
Correct, but everybody complained about being 8 of 10, right? And like how frustrating it was and how hard it was. But then when they said they were going to nerf them, what happened?
Yeah, everyone complained. They didn't
Everybody
want
bitched about
it.
it. Well, I think
Yeah.
people want it hard. They leave it hard though. They should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they maybe tune some stuff down that they think will be a problem. The only benefit is that in this tier, all of the really good gear is from Vash and KT, and everything else
Mhm.
is sort of like, man, like maybe Talon of Azshara is getting us from Morrigan, but next tier, I think there's a lot more gear spread out. Where if you're not killing every boss, you're at least gearing up reasonably. We got to a point where, like, when we were killing Vash, pretty much no one really needed, maybe a couple of items, but we weren't going to get a huge gear increase without killing Vash or KT. That's where you get your 4 set from. That's where you get some insane weapons from. The really good items were
See,
there.
and like I can't speak to anything because I just don't research every class, but I know Warlock, there's the wand from Easy Town Boss we've never wiped on, and then like I'm the only one in the guild that has that wand. I don't think it's dropped for maybe FJ has
Yeah,
it.
but the increase in a wand, like I can't imagine the stat increase between like a lower item
That
level
wand
is that much
is
better.
nuts. It's
Pretty good.
got hit, crit, and spell power. Like that
Oh wow.
wand is awesome. Then there's the
Abyss
bracers
until
from
Sunwall.
Alar. Yeah, it's freaking it's nasty, you know, but
You'll have it for like 6 months, 8 months.
I think we might only have one. We might have two. FJ might have one also, but we only have two of the bracers. We lost one with someone quitting. Like
Mhm.
those
We
weird
lost
items
our
just
only
don't
defender
seem
I
to.
just
chest.
got my bracers last week
But there are good items. But yeah, I would agree. The
from Hydros.
majority is KT and Vash.
Mhm. Oh
But
The
yeah.
majority of the major weapons are KT
Well,
and
you're
Vash.
not gonna get enough gear that it's like, oh well, if we farm this for another month, we'll have the
Yeah.
gear to do the last bosses. It's like it just feels bad to be 8 of 10. It was because you're no one's in 4 set. Like we're all everyone's like, where's our 4 set at? So I can see
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
why
not like
8 of 10 is
Nax.
annoying.
It's not like Nax where like you got a lot of good gear going into the last bosses where you felt like the more you ran those bosses, the better chance you had to beat those bosses, right?
Yeah, like the week we killed 6 or 7 bosses, we are like, dang, look at all this gear we got. This is great. And
Right.
then next week we'll do 8 bosses. But for this, we are like, when are we gonna be 10 of 10? When are we gonna be 10 of 10?
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
for sure.
Well,
Investments is big too, man. That's a big piece. Chest.
Yeah, the
oh, the
batch that
chest.
batch chest.
Mhm.
We have one that's dropped, and we still haven't heard from that poor guildie who disappeared. Ozzy.
Oh, is he the one with the chest?
Also
He's the
attunements,
one with
man. You
the
got to get
chest.
Lady Vash vial, KT
Yep,
vial.
yep.
Wow.
And what's funny is there's gonna be. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people that don't know because I had to share that quest because Questy doesn't like still. Actually, I don't know if it still doesn't show it because I've got it. I've got it completed now. But like that quest wasn't showing on Questy, and so I just watch a ton of YouTube and stuff. So I was like, oh, well, I need to go get that. Then I shared it with like over
I think
half
it
of our
does show
guild.
now. I think it does show now in Questy because I think
But
that's
yeah,
when I
that ring is a ring. The ring you get from completing that quest
Oh, the Mount Hydro
is
attunement ring.
yeah, dude. And it
Oh yeah, that's OP.
like it'll like
Have I
it's
done that?
good now, but like it'll keep
maybe not.
building up. It's the one you have to go turn in caverns at a time. I don't think you've ran turn it in, but the ring's good now. But it turns into an amazing ring
Yeah, it's
after
like
you
the
get
violets
more
you get
rep.
with upgrades with
Yep.
rep. Here's a fun
Mhm.
fact for all you warriors out there. I haven't looked at this much. This is what I heard. The last band of eternity for tanks, the high jaw ring, has a proc on it, and the proc gives you armor, but
Mhm.
it screws up armor scrolls. Like they can't stack on top of each
Oh,
other.
interesting. Well,
So
for us, it gives a spell power proc.
Mhm.
so I don't know. Hey, I don't know if it works the same if there's some weird bug in there for that you. But the best thing to do for a warrior tank is to stop at Revere, and then if you want to switch it to the DPS one, apparently there's a way to like delete the ring and then like get the switch over to the DPS side. But getting the exalted
Interesting.
tank ring is actually a downgrade to the revered tank ring.
You might be able
That's
Huh.
to get the ring as spec into DPS.
yeah. Well, so
Get the
it's
DPS ring,
it's
right?
a so there is a good DPS ring. The tanks want the non DPS ring though.
Oh,
The tank one is incredible. It's a really powerful mitigation piece. It's just if you upgrade it all the way,
the proc
you're
is
hurting
lame.
yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, and the problem is I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but by the time you're like switching rings out at Exalted, because that's the only time that you can switch, you're gonna have all this stuff done probably already, right? Like you're gonna be done with this tier of content, which kind of feels bad.
Well,
So you
no,
want to do things,
you
right?
usually a big thing a lot of people do is farm Mount Hydro trash the day it
Oh,
opens up
okay.
during the day. Yeah, you can just go in
Yeah,
there,
okay.
knock
Well,
as
yeah, if
long as you
you're
don't do the first boss, you go do like most of the wave and you just leave on the last wave. Everybody leave, reset,
okay, yeah, then
go
maybe
again, so you
that's
can get your
the
rings
game
done right
plan.
away. Yeah,
How many?
day one, I'm exalted with my ring before raid.
All
How
right.
Well, I guess
actually?
you go when the doors open actually, so that doesn't count. But no, normally you can go there right away before your raid that night, get it done. A
Okay,
lot of grinding, but AOE, so it's kind of fun depending on what class you are. You know, it could be kind of boring as a shadow priest, but if you're a warlock, you might have a little fun. You know?
okay. Answer me. How many could you do that with a partial raid?
Nah, you're gonna want
No,
40 in there. Or not 40, but you're gonna want your 25 in there right away.
four
Maybe if you
four
have your
just
like your guild,
trash.
if you like your guild and they're doing it, you already know what you're doing, and you practice it. But which I think you should because the trash is very annoying.
That's I
Because
want to
it's
raid
waves
90.
of trash
Yeah,
in between each bosses, right?
Well, no,
And
but yeah, but I'm
it's
talking
pretty
about
crazy.
just for trash runs.
Yeah.
25, dude.
Okay, because like we did do trash runs in SSC with like 1920 at the start of the phase to try and get vortexes.
Yeah, you might be able to. It depends. I don't know until we know the tuning, but you might be able to like you could on that one because a lot of people are going to want to do it. So it's not going to be hard to get 25 to do it because it also
Yeah.
drops solid blessing. All the decks, all the cards start dropping from there too.
You
Oh
you'd probably
yeah,
pug it out. You would pug it out either way, I would
Gyms,
think.
epic gyms. Remember, we get epic gyms. The number one place you're going to get them is Mount Hydro.
yeah, yep,
People are going
yep.
to be living in Mount Hydro.
Okay,
Dang.
well,
Yeah.
that actually is gonna move us on to discussion. So this week in discussion, we're gonna talk about Phase 3, and we got Crix here. Crix is our resident expert on Phase 3. So, Crix, where do you want to start?
The raids, because that's the hype, most hype. I mean, I guess
All
we
right,
can
well,
start with the last part which is the arena season, which we're assuming the arena season comes out with the phase 3, but I don't PvP much, so I don't know much about the arena season. All I know is that arena season 3 is gonna come.
I do
All right,
know
I'll
that
bring it out easy. Armor
that
pen, armor pen.
Yeah.
oh,
You know?
but if you're talking about arena season 1 gear should go to
Oh
honor
yeah,
pricing.
Oh,
yeah.
that's nuts. I forgot about that.
That's good. That helps. That's a good entry way to be able to get PvPing right away, even for someone like me who wants to PvP. But it's daunting to think of how bad the honor rates are, which is ironic when
I
talking about how
wish, yeah.
SOM's honor rates just were right. Like you can't just do that one on accident one fucking week for us, bro.
I still can't believe they haven't changed that. Like it's
It's just
still absurd.
it's too much time, man. And then if you AFK at all, you're done. Banned.
Yep.
Couple
That was
days.
my biggest like here's how we fix the fact that Horde have really long queues. It's just up the rate on both sides. Alliance still have an advantage, but make it like a reasonable farm on it for everybody. Because it's just unreasonable for everybody. Even with fast
Mhm.
queues, it's like I'm
Nobody
keeping up
wants
with
to
all
wait.
my
It's like,
gear. So
what is
much.
it? Like I don't even know how many 20 hours played to get not even half of a gear set. It's crazy. It's like a whole 8-hour gameplay to get one bracer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like, and I've been upgrading it each time. So I got the normal ones of season 2. I'm farming for the season 3
Mm-hmm.
ahead of time now, and it's so daunting. And I have 2 characters that both in their PvE specs want that PvP gear. So it's
Yeah.
like it's too much.
And you're also getting to the point for later in the we're midway through the game where people in BGs have gear, so you're kind of just like
It's
I
not
don't full
easy anymore.
PvE
Yeah,
gear trying to survive these guys chunking.
Well, I will say, as a podcast, one of the best ways to not AFK in BGs and pass the time fun is to listen to podcasts or books on tape. But podcasts can save your life in BGs because you don't have to watch it. You just have to listen.
books on tape.
Smart,
Dude.
yeah. But yeah, he said the armor pin. Armor pin comes in. There's armor pins in it. We get haste as well. Haste is a big one now.
Spell haste.
Yeah, with haste. With spell haste. There's not a ton of it, but you get a couple pieces in Mount Hydra. Get a couple tailoring pieces that'll have some haste on it that you can touch. Get a nice little trinket called School of Gul'dan that everybody's gonna be fighting over. That has a lot of haste on it. Get some gear, some couple weapons. You're gonna have some
What's
haste
the
pieces.
what's the item that's a healer item that we're still gonna want as
Cloak.
DPS?
Cloak.
Yep.
Yeah, proud to healers, but it's best for DPS. But I think you should still give it to healers, which sucks because it's the Illidan cloak. So it's one of those cloaks. Illidan drops a lot of gear that everybody needs, and it's a minor upgrade compared to the mini cloaks we get. You get a good trash cloak right away, like 53 shadow damage. You get the Illidan's cloak, healer cloak. You get a lot of gear that is exciting for a warlock because unlike mages who went from a bunch of stuff to just 4-piece and this and that, and trinkets, weapons, nexus key, and all that. We went from T4 to minor upgrade, literal 8 spell power, 6 spell power upgrades, a fat chest that never drops, and a big wand that never drops, and some tailoring items. We don't get any upgrades, but coming into T6, we replaced everything except for those, that chest.
All right. Well,
So
how
we're
about
just getting a fat power boost, and I'm so excited.
me too. How about
Fuck
this?
mages.
Let's start with the attunements for Mount Hyjal and Black Temple. Now,
Mhm.
I know the Black Temple attunements in Mount Hyjal. I just forget what it is. And is there an actual attunement for Mount Hyjal? Is it that quest for the ring?
Yes, quest we did already. The
Yep.
vials of eternity or whatever that you pick up from each end boss. That's your high jaw attunement.
Mhm. And the Black Temple attunement is the one that goes out with the comma and all that way out there in the Shadow Moon
Oh,
Valley. It's a
yeah.
long, extremely long quest train that starts
I'm
with
at
Prayers or Aldors.
I'm at the end of that. It's the one where okay. I'm at
Mhm.
I'm at the end of that.
That's the one that has you get the vials from Lady Bash and KT, right? And then you're done. Then you got to give it to a comma, and then pretty much wait, and then you have to kill Winter Chill at some point. First boss in Black Temple. I mean, Mount Hyjal.
That's actually a big point that I think a lot of people are missing. We were talking about it in guild and people weren't 100% sure. The reason that's big is because you need on your alts, if you're like trying to get something else attuned, you need your alts to be there for a KT and a Vash. So you can't go into Black Temple unless you're also attuned to High Jaw, which means you need to be able to do SSC and TK as well. Like it's all coming down the chain.
Yeah, they do it on purpose. I like that they do that. It
Yeah.
makes you earn it, and that's why I hope that they don't lift T5 attunements yet. They usually, I don't know when they did that. I don't know if they did that normally back in Black Temple or they did it with ZA. But I hope they leave it alone because earn it. But at the same time, it's to chase people away from the game. I don't know. At this point, I
Yeah.
think people are just they don't care. They'll bitch about anything. So
Yeah, that's kind of like a conclusion that I think a lot of people come to, where it's like, I don't want this in the game, but I also want people playing the game. Like, I want people
yeah,
here and playing. So you have
definitely.
to balance these two things of an ideal game versus a populated game.
Yeah, but I'm excited. The raids are very exciting. The tuner raids are probably the most hyped up thing in TBC. I think that's what's going to bring people back the most. Um, I don't remember much that you get elsewise. The dailies already came out too, so I don't really. And you get new gyms, which are huge. You get epic gyms now, which are really just like in terms of agility and spell power. It's like a spell power is 9, so it goes from 9 to 12. And your hit goes from 8 hit to 10 hit, like those epic gyms. So it's not like a drastic
It's
like
kind of like
min-max.
the
It's
PvP
nice. It adds
gems.
up slowly. Yeah. So if you have 5 gems, they're all 9s. Each are getting 3. You're gonna slowly get 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 each one.
There is new dailies that come out though. Don't
Is
forget
there okay?
Nether
There you go.
Drakes.
Yeah, the
Oh, there you go. That's hype. I might even try to get one of those actually.
Yep.
I never had before. That kind of sounds cool.
Yeah, you can get the attunement for that quest done now, and you get a neutral in the whatever faction that is. You can do those in Shadow Moon Valley. I've done it with 2 different characters now.
I think did it take a long time?
No, not really. It was like I don't know, like 7 quests to get it all done.
Yeah, I might need to do that. I think I want to off topic, but I want to try to 100% achievements in Lich King, and I think one of them is going to be to have all those mounts.
Yep.
But I assume
Oh,
it is
yeah.
it. Okay, I've never looked through it. Okay, yeah. So
I don't
do that.
know. I don't know if it's standalone achievement, but it'll minimally. There's going to be the mount achievements, and Nether
Yeah.
Drakes is one of the few mounts that you can get like multiple versions of. I think,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can boost those numbers through that. Although the problem is it might be a lot easier to do in Wrath. That might be the only trade off. I don't know.
Oh, true. Yeah, duh. You can probably go back as a group and just smack it out.
Exactly, and
Fast.
it's going to be really tough. One of the easiest ways to get the Nether Drake rep, at least when I was doing it, was the eggs. So like when you find an egg on the ground, it's literally like a daily quest worth of rep just sitting there for you. So if it's not very populated, which it's going to be when it comes out, you can just farm like multiple eggs during your session, and you can boost how quickly you can get that rep up like crazy. But right now, when it's going to be insane, especially on a server like White Main, where we're going to be the lower population, just getting destroyed out there, we're not going to be able to get very much. If you're a low pop on a PvP server, like the lower faction, it might be worth waiting until Wrath. That's
I
my
might try to get
general
it. That
advice.
kind of sounds fun.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool area. I really like those
Can you
quests.
get
And
the
you have like
eggs
some
already?
weird ones. I don't think you
I
can,
don't think
no.
you can. No, you you
Okay.
get to the end part and you become neutral, and then none of those quests are available at the moment after that.
Mhm.
But you could definitely finish it and get neutral. Another thing that I'm not positive, but I think is coming with Phase 3 is new badge gear in addition to Karazhan bosses dropping badges.
Oh, that shouldn't be yet. That should be in
No?
ZA area.
Oh, it's
Usually the
CA?
badge,
Okay.
the new badge vendors is the Isle Killed in Us patch. And then I honestly don't know on which, if it's private server based or not, but I'm pretty sure ZA is when they start putting badges everywhere in Karazhan. But that also might be the Isle patch as well. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah,
Oh,
the new badge, because the new badge vendors are on the Isle too.
Yeah.
They're all there on the Isle.
I thought we were getting new gear in the badge vendors in Shat start of Phase 3, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, they get some chunky ass gear
Yep.
when the Isle comes out too.
It's Zul'Aman because Zul'Aman and Karazhan both drop badges. So
Yep.
that when Zul'Aman comes
That's
out,
when you start stocking up, and you should, because those vendors are. I mean, now's not even a bad time if you're just so kind of bored. And you're like, I want to do heroics, but it doesn't make sense because I don't need badges. You might need them in the future if you have an alt or something like that, like an alt that's not getting in raids, but you're not worried. You don't want to raid on them, but you're just going to stock up on badges because that's a whole PvP vendor. Where there's one with you can buy a whole entire arena set stuff, PvP set with badges, catch up mechanic gear, everything. It's crazy. Weapons, so dope.
Wow.
Gems.
And you really can't, like, I know you do get a lot from Karazhan, but if you're someone like me,
22.
if you're someone like me, I want all the stuff right away. I don't want to get 22 badges a week or like however many you get from Zul'Aman also, so maybe like 40 badges a week. And then like, well, I still need more pieces. Like you're gonna want to bring some amount of badges in if you want the gear right
Yep.
away.
And the worst thing in the world is when, say, it comes out, say Isle comes out, you're like, oh, what's this vendor? And you go look, find it, like, oh, let me go see, look what it is. Holy shit. These are dope. Oh my, what do I need? 100 badges per piece? Oh shit. They gotta farm 100 badges.
Which is what you need for your entire
Yeah.
Warlock
Yeah.
fire resist
Each
gear.
piece is 100. Yeah. There's some cheaper ones, but the good stuff is obviously more expensive. And then you got to go farm that versus, all right, well, I casually been farming on my off days to get for this exact moment right here. Now I only got to farm 40 versus 100.
Wow.
Just looking for content to do if you're bored. Farm badges.
All right. Well, maybe take us through a boss or two in each of the new raids.
Well, Archimon, I think, is the only one that's going to be a lot. I think, well, in Mount Hydro, I think that these bosses are going to be a lot of fun. I don't want to know how tuning is going to be. It's a big wave. First off, it goes in waves. Like you step into Mount Hydro, and you have like the Lions camp and the Horde camp. You fight waves, right? Fight waves of trash. One wave comes out, you nuke them. Next wave, boom. Next wave, next wave. Then a boss comes out, and the first few bosses are kind of boring. But there's one boss that's really cool. I don't know if the names are so weird. It's like Casual and Azure. I don't know all the names, Azure or whatever. But one of them puts a curse of doom on you. And when this curse of doom blows up, you die. So you have to be soulstone, right? You die. And then when you die, because you had doom on you, what's the chance that can happen? Is you can spawn a doom guard. But this is a mechanic, so you actually turn into a doom guard. So you have to die, turn to a doom guard, get nuked, and then you res from the soulstone. It's kind of cool. Nothing too crazy, but it's just a kind of a little random mechanic. And then Archimon's just gonna be a fun fight because it's a lot of hectic. That's gonna be the ones that Archimon's like one of the first fights that you get where called air blast or air burst, whatever, that can really just it's just a debuff you get that blows up. You get a countdown, it blows up in 30 seconds, it goes 3, 2, 1, and it blows up. And it's like it was different. It differed on private servers, but it's like 8 to 10 yards around you, everybody else blows up too. And it blows you up so high in the air that you die when you fall, unless you have soul fall. The game Tyrande or whatever gives you an item that gives everybody slow fall, but it only lasts like 2 seconds. It's like you press it and you're slow for 2 seconds. I cannot wait to see all these, these classic Gorthaks and these classic highlights and everything where these people are just dying over and over again because people are going to time that wrong. They're going to forget to get it. They're going to air burst everybody. The fire paths are going to be fun. That's going to be a fun fight. But
what you're saying is there's going to be no hardcore to this raid.
Yeah, I think that Mount Hydro, not really Mount Hydro as much. The waves will be annoying, but I think that's going to depend on how Blizzard nerfs them and if Arcane Mages are stacked because they're nutty with that trash. But I think that Archimon will be rough as long as it's not, if they keep the tuning how it is right now, which I think is fine. It could be, obviously I will always say it can be harder, but I know that I'm the minority that wants it to be retardedly hard. So I understand that. So if they keep it the same, which I'd be okay with, they Archmon's gonna be rough. I think it's gonna be rough mechanically, but Black Temples, that's when like real mechanics come in. That's more than just if you guys had trouble pressing a fucking cube, you're in danger when you get to Black Temple, I think. Not the first boss. First boss is kind of cool, but even just right away on Supremus on the second boss, that's all mechanics. It's those volcanoes are gonna smack. And one phase is him chasing somebody, but here's where it's gonna get tarded. You ready? He fixates a random person and chases you. But at any moment in life, if anybody gets over like 30 yards or whatever it is, he immediately will beeline charge who that is. And well, on private servers, you get one shot. I doubt they're gonna one shot. But so you have to have everybody stay within a certain amount of yardage, but not too close because he switches you as like Daladred. He'll just one shot you. All while it's this all while
Danger,
other
Will
mechanics are
Robinson.
going
Like
off.
this little
Oh, dude, it's
game.
crazy. Yeah, dude, it's
Like
like
be
there's a bunch
close,
of
but
these
don't be too
bosses. Yeah.
close. Be far, but don't be too far.
Yeah, and I love it because I come from retail where mechanics are heavy and I like them. And then I also remember my first private server going on these and playing, going through T5 had been pretty easy. And then Black Temple and me fucking up every one of these bosses' mechanics forever because they were so rough for me to get. The Terran Gorefiend construct shit is just insane. I can't wait to see that. It would tear everybody's ass up on private servers. I can't wait to see how many people mess up on. So the mechanic difficulty is a major jump, but I think if you guys can get mechanics down, like guild wise, everybody's guild, I think difficulty wise, I don't think Illidan itself has never been super, super, super hard. Like not like Bash. I don't think the bosses themselves are going to be really, really hard outside of the mechanically challenged people that there are out there, including myself.
So you think if there's like coordination
Yeah,
and good guild
coordination and good
leading,
leaders, yes, and good
yeah.
videos, which I plan to go super in depth with trash and everything to make it hold people's hands because I think it's fun.
Good.
But there's a lot of cool mechanics.
Nice.
Reliquary of Souls is a cool boss fight with the many faces and the different phases. And like, one is every time you do damage to the boss, it does the same damage to you. So if you fuck around and crit a Shadow Bolt and it hits for 10, you're hitting yourself for 10k. And so there's like another, and then the same exact phase. It's just crazy. It's insane, dude. One phase
Mechanics
is you
are
can't
tough.
heal at all. So no matter what, nobody can be healed during one of the phases of this boss. So absolutely nobody can be healed. It's like literally like you can heal them, but nothing. Their health will not go up. So as a warlock,
Oh,
you're sitting there life tapping, and every time you do it, you're like, oh wait, and then the boss is also doing mechanics. So it's like, oh, how much damage do you want to do? That's the same boss at the next phase that you hurt yourself when you hurt it. It's crazy. It's a fun fight. There's a lot of really fun fights in there mechanically that I was really happy about. And same with Sunwell later down the road, but Blackton was a lot of fun.
That's the
Way more
healer's
fun.
job.
Easier to find
You
info.
could just life tap at any time, anywhere. It's the healer's job to take care of you. Like
Yep.
life tap when
You
Alar's
can't
about
heal.
Yeah,
to
but
drop the
on that
bomb.
fight,
That's what you're
you
supposed
can't
to do.
heal. Like if
I don't.
she can spam you with healing and have a renew on you, your health will not go up. It's part of the mechanic.
I don't know why Bob's saying
We-
that sarcastically when
I know.
it's like 100% warlock attitude.
100%. And
Oh, yeah, dude, I do it all the time.
I wish it was like the Neff mechanic where if you healed, it damaged them. Because I can just see myself when they life
just
tap
trolling.
and are bitching. I just like freaking renew you. Like,
You want
hey,
some
how about that?
heals?
What do you think?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Mechanics
I
are tough
mean,
for someone when you're trying to like run a raid or like pep talk or like how do we fix things? Because it's like, okay, the air blast, it's like, okay, guys, this time don't be near me.
yeah.
Don't do
I
that
feel
this
like-
time, please.
Melee is
feel
very
like,
interesting on Archimon because of the fire path and it's just assuming it's gonna be easier in private servers because there are weak ores and weak ores are very much more popular than they are on private servers. Weak ores are busted on servers, no one uses them really. But I think it'll be a little bit easier. But it's real quick, dude. It's like, oh, air burst 1, 2. Oh shit! Like if you're mid cast, if you do not stop casting and move, you're gonna get like blown up to the air, which isn't bad, but it's less DPS. And then it
Right.
always blows you 100 yards away. So no matter what, if you are hitting the air, unless you're a mage, you can blink right away and stay there. You have to run back too every time. And then if you're getting hurt, no heals because it does damage, and it's a shit show. It can be turned to a shit show, and it's gonna be bananas
But don't you
hilarious. I
think
can't wait.
mechanics as like a leader, which I am not in this aspect, like as like a leader though, mechanics are much easier to fix and train on than just do more DPS, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
if our problem is we don't have enough DPS to get this
Mhm.
boss down, that's a lot of individual mechanics that you have to fix, right?
Yeah.
Here's what you're not thinking about is player attitude. When half the players can do the mechanics and the other half can't do the mechanics, that is like a resentment builder.
Yep. Mhm. It is.
Versus not having enough
Good
DPS.
players then leave because they're like,
Yeah,
oh
not
man,
having
you got
enough
this shit
DPS
on.
Correct.
is a group problem. We all
Mhm.
can do more DPS. But when it's
Correct,
like that
but
I
guy
think
didn't do the
definitely
mechanic right.
no, but
mechanics are
hear me out. Hear me out.
first,
Hear me out though.
rotation second.
If
Mhm.
you have a good guild leader, which I think we do, if you have a good guild leader who can prep people, who can like provide the necessary like hand holding that is needed for certain classes, like just like he does with certain like zones where like you stand here, you heal this person, you heal this person, you get this target, you get this target, right? If you have that in place, I think it's much easier,
I
right?
think it's hold
Here's
on,
my
hold
hope.
on. Let me put something in before you say it. It's good guild leadership. It doesn't have to be one person. Like we have good guild
Yeah,
leadership.
guild
The
know.
committee.
officers, all of them offer
I
a
mean, I
lot
just
of
exclude
support.
Yip from that
Yeah,
equation.
don't say that about me. That's ridiculous. But I am gonna be yelling at people a lot. But I no, I
Yeah,
mean you're totally right on that. I think that like mechanic mechanics are just tough. Like there's so much politics involved in guild leadership that is very annoying and frustrating that I think mechanical fights make that harder. Whether or not
they do.
mechanics are easier to fix because it's like, hey, once you learn the mechanic, like it is pretty simple. Like once you get it down, you
Yep.
usually have it down
Right.
after
It's
that.
just going to cost. The thing about these T6 mechanics is Black Temple ones. I think they're going to cost the wipe though. A lot of these mechanics are. So
Exactly.
Well,
That's like
and
learning
that's
those
the biggest part.
mistakes, you're going to wipe.
the biggest problem with, in my opinion, in lots of the guilds that I've been in, and especially the guild I'm in now, mechanics are a big problem because people will not ask questions. They won't exactly know what's going on. I'll get a question from somebody in a tell or a question from somebody in party. And it's like, just speak up, ask the question. There's probably other people that are curious too, and nobody wants to do that. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, I understood that perfectly. And that's impossible. Nobody understands it perfectly. Like, speak up, ask questions. It's going to save
But
you
I think
time in the long run.
you're gonna have to deal with that in a like when you're in a leadership role and you're training other people, like that is just inevitable, right? You're gonna say something, they're gonna all nod their head and say yes, okay, and then they're gonna do it, and it's not gonna be right, and you're gonna be like,
Well,
what the fuck?
I'm trying
Like
to
I
speak to the
just
people. I'm trying to like tell people it's okay to ask questions. Like it doesn't
correct, but there's a
make you
certain
stupid.
balance, right? Because at certain points some people learn differently, right? Some people learn when they get in that situation and it happens and they err and then they learn from that, right? And they don't necessarily need to be called out because they are self-aware and say like, "Yep, fuck, I fucked that one up," right? And they might just say it to themselves because they're too scared to say it out loud, and that's fine. Like as long as they change their behavior. So you have to look at what is your end goal here? Like your end goal is to get everybody to change their behavior to fit what you want them to complete, right? And whatever method that we utilize to do that, whether it's I give you this explanation, we do it, and this is our guild MO. I give you an explanation, not me, Harscar usually or Yip gives you an explanation on how to do something. We try it, we fail epically, and everybody learns. And then we do it again. And we trial and we fail a little bit better though. And we learn. And then we
I'm
move
just
on.
saying, like, if people were comfortable asking questions, it could
I
expedite that process.
I don't think that it's that people aren't comfortable asking questions. It's that I think that people don't know what questions to ask. And that people don't learn from the answers to the questions that they are asking, right? Like how many times does Taladress, whatever his name is, target you in the like, running zone?
The first phase,
Yeah,
it's random.
exactly. So
That's
how
a
many times have you been targeted?
I've been targeted many times.
Okay,
In
I've
our
been targeted
attempts,
once.
I was targeted 3 times in our attempts last night.
Okay, so
3
I was
different
targeted.
times.
I've been targeted once. Every time we've pulled him, everything, I've been targeted once, right? So what I'm saying is that you get these mechanics that don't impact you every time, so you don't even know to ask that question.
Well, okay, so, but like the question, like, okay, so specifically for that fight, for my job, lock, I could do the max DPS by standing. Like, if I don't get targeted, I could do the max DPS by standing right there, never moving, right? And just shadow bolt. And then, but say at the very last point, he turns to me. Then he starts walking back. That's a problem. What I need to be doing is shadow bolt, moving back towards the back of the room in case he targets me. Then shadow bolt, then moving back further. Then shadow bolt. And it hurts DPS, but I'm ready for when he targets me. And those are the type
So
of things that people like can ask
correct. So
questions
why
and
don't
find out.
we, as a guild, say this is your expectation? You need to move halfway to the room at this point. You need to move all the way to the back of the room at
It's
this point.
just a lot to say. It's just like
It is a lot to say, right? But how many times is that warlock reinforced for standing in one spot, shadow bolting, getting a 99 parse because
I
he
know,
didn't get targeted?
I
and
agree
that
with
shit
Mel.
pisses
Just
me off.
this game is easy. Just do it right. I agree with Mel.
Game's easy for it.
Game's easy. Just do it.
Come on.
I feel good. The reason I feel good about the mechanics for our guild right now is on our first Vash attempt ever. No, our second Vash attempt ever. So we didn't have any Thornlings our first week, and we're like, that was a lot harder than I was expecting this fight to be. Let's go get some Thornlings next week. Our first attempt on Vash ever with Thornlings, we had 25 put down. 25 of 25 people went and got their Thornlings and put them down. And I was like, you know what? We got a good crew here. We got people who
Yeah,
are
they
willing
want
pretty
to
to go all the way to
succeed.
Dire Mall, get the stupid Thornlings, and come to raid, and they're prepared. And I feel like as long as you got a group of people who are all willing to do that, you guys can figure out the mechanics and get it done. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna be
was
hard.
just my whole thing was just like questions. But on to other questions about the next phase. There was one that I had.
Well, I'll ask then while you think about it.
Like, do it.
Shadow resist gear. There's
Mhm.
Oh,
Mother
good point.
Sharaz. Is that a hard fight, or is it once you have the Shadow Res gear?
People are like really sweating that for some reason, and it never was that hard of a fight, to be honest. You have to get some shadow res, but I don't think it's gonna be. We won't know it as it's in, but if it's going anything based off of like how much fire res and like arcane res and stuff that we needed, we didn't really need that much, right? Then I remember running low as like 215 fire res when I was doing it as a warlock, and I feel like all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run like probably 3 green shadow res as a warlock, 3 green shadow res, the neck, medallion neck, the one you get from the Black Temple attunements, good shadow res neck, and then like a cloak from Strat. That was a good neck. There's a couple cloaks, but I'm gonna just go in there with that and hope it works. You will end up making a set with the Hearts of Darkness, but you can't really do that right away. I mean, you could, but not for everybody, right? So I don't think we'll need that much, but we'll see. But yeah, that mechanic never was like super crazy. There's one that's called Fatal Retraction. It's like it grabs 3 people and makes them put like a triangle, right? And you have to separate in the triangle pattern, like 2 this way, 1 up this way, or it does a shit ton of damage. And so the fire, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. That's another fun
Wait,
mechanic. A lot of that is the teleportation. Are we gonna be able to? She does this thing where she knocks people in the air, and you should cheese it by standing under lanterns and standing under stuff. So when it knocked you up, you hit your head on the lantern and it brought you back down. Are we gonna be able to do that? Because
There's
it's
a
a
Castle
different.
Nathria boss with that triangle mechanic as well too, and now
Yep.
I'm terrified because
Yep.
yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah,
okay,
but
so
at
wait,
the
with
same
the
time,
fire res,
are they gonna hit hard too? I think
Well,
that
yeah,
if they
that's the
tune
thing.
it, they might because T5 shit hit hard. It did
yeah.
hit hard. Some of the T5 stuff hits hard. Multi shot, there's stuff that hits hard.
We had people who just did not have enough stam gear going into this phase for a long time, where it's just this
Especially
mechanic one shot
priests.
you.
Okay, let's not call out individuals
Oh,
here
my
that did
priest
not
has
have
like
enough
Yeah,
I
we
have
only
We
like
have
said
4 pieces of
priests.
stam gear I put on my
I
priest.
have 2 priests.
and basically
Okay,
one.
basically
We all
one.
know who historically and but no, I mean that's a serious concern. You know, you're wearing your best piece of gear, which is Primal Mooncloth, got no stam on it, and then Vash just turns and one shots you. It's like, oh, okay. Well, if that's
I
gonna be
know.
happening a lot, we're gonna have some issues.
I
Yep.
know.
I have to swap out I swap out like head, neck, chest, shoulders, everything on my priest. It's like
Listen, I don't have any
you want
Primal
9.5,
Mooncloth gear.
9.5 health.
I don't have
9.5
any
health.
Primal Mooncloth gear anymore.
Yeah, and you don't die a lot anymore. That's all. No one's going
Oh.
out. It's the fact of life.
Well,
Yeah,
It's
you
the
and
see
fact
why
of life.
Bushy
You need a
quit?
certain amount of
Bushy quit
stamina
because he
on
was
certain
gonna start
bosses.
losing that fight.
I was I was streaming the other night, and someone in chat was like, "It's always the worst when you're a holy priest because everybody knows when you die."
Oh, it's miserable.
Yeah, because I get this little angel out there, and they're like, "Oh, Mel died," and when
Yep.
you're the only holy priest, right? Like, come on.
Well, and then remember what trash do we do where like the angels pop out and everybody kept thinking it was you dying over and over again?
Oh yeah, the trash on the way in SSC, on the way
Yeah.
to like all the
Yeah.
bosses.
Yeah,
Little
Yeah,
like
it's like
angels pop out.
first week in
Trash
there,
on
everybody's
the-
like, Mel died again?
I still think. I mean, you're saying first week, but every time we kill them, they pop up with spirit res. I'm like, oh, we're good. All right.
Mel, what are you doing so
What?
close?
Well, I mean, as a, like,
Because it's your healer as
yeah.
the main tank, and you're like, oh shit.
because I don't look at frames the same way that other people do. I think like I don't look at how the raid is doing for the most part. I look at how healthy I am. And then like I see like and I'm just wondering where people are. So I see a spirit res and I'm like, what? Oh,
Oh,
I'm
no.
alive, right? And it's hard to tell at first too because when you're spirit res, you look like you're alive on raid frames. You look
Yes.
like you're alive at full health. So I'm like,
Yep.
what?
Yeah, that is annoying. I also wish that my raid frames would tell me when somebody's mind controlled because I can't tell you how many times I've like tried to click a heal on a mind controlled target like twice, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, that's
Like-
Okay,
interesting.
so Fark TV in chat has a question. I don't know if this is pertinent or not, but he says, are people ready to spend hours and hours in Scholomance farming dark runes for Mount? Like, why just Mount Hyjal?
I would say I already farmed them every week already.
Listen, we got Kim.
Stop. I'm about to save your
We're already
life.
farming them.
Stop going to Scholomance. Start going to Fellwood and get the bind on pickup runes. They do the
Yeah, then
exact
you gotta
same
fight
thing.
for them though.
Are
The
they-
dark
I mean,
runes
I
you
don't
can buy
actually-
on the auction house.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but they're really expensive on our server at least. They're not
Yeah.
like the problem is, but they drop. I used to go there. I used to farm so much Felcloth and vanilla. If you spend
Yeah.
an hour out there, you're gonna save more money than the money you would spend. Like it's worthwhile for someone like me, unless you're making a ton of gold.
Well,
or you
Skolo's
have a
better
ton of-
gold farm because if you have disenchanting, because you can disenchant everything inside of
Yeah.
Skullmance, all the drops. But if you're just doing
Oh.
it strictly for gold farming, I probably wouldn't even do Skolo because you're using the dark runes for yourself. But yeah,
Okay,
dark runes,
so-
I feel like they're important. Even as a warlock, I spam them.
He's saying something about mana burn when
Oh, one of the
mana reaches
so one of the
zero.
boss's mechanics. Yeah, so one of the boss's mechanics where he takes a certain amount of mana from you. In this example, I'll say 3,500, right? So he goes, I'm gonna take 3,500 mana from you every tick. But when I start that tick, if you are under 3,500 mana, you're dead. You're gonna blow up. It's gonna take that mana, and you're gonna blow up, and you're gonna blow up anybody around you, right? Even if you're at 33,000 and then you drink a mana potion and go back over, it doesn't matter. It's gonna like, how just like random snapshots or whatever. And then so if you don't, you blow up, and when your mana reaches zero, it just takes it from you. But that's not, I don't know, it's not really a fight you need to worry about. That was a fight that was never even an issue because of mana potions and stuff like that. The
I
dark
feel that
runes, you
way-
should have, a lot of guilds are already hard farm. Dark runes are so expensive. I don't know about your guys' servers, like 30 gold a
Yeah,
pop.
they
20
are.
gold a
We
pop.
have people who farm.
Yeah,
them, and we have people who
they're
got
juicy,
Felwood,
bro.
too. It just is. That's like one of the most expensive consumes there are right now for sure. But yeah, that's the troubling thing, especially as a tank. I actually don't do that much research pre. I'll look at logs and stuff like that, but I have an issue where people, especially on private servers or people who remember back in the day, they'll talk about these mechanics like there's something you need to worry about, and then when we experienced it, it's like it does 1k damage. It's just like an
Exactly.
ignorable mechanic. Like I hate over preparing for all these
Yep.
mechanics, and it's like, oh, you just kill it. Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
just
Mhm.
like the arcane like resist that we were supposed to need in
Okay, that's because we didn't know Solarian came out. There's like multiple versions of
yeah.
Solarian, and that is
We had
like,
the lame one.
yeah, we had the. That's basically the conclusion. Solarian is like an incredibly easy boss now because
Yeah.
of the
No.
breaking, and there's just
Which is weird because usually it's loot reaver. Well, loot reaver easy too. But
Now-
usually it's belt reaver, that's the easy one.
There is definitely, because I remember telling the rogues in our guild in Classic Vanilla that they were going to have to be on traps in BWL in the, what's the room? The trap room?
Suppression room.
Yeah, I was trying to tell them they're going to have to be on traps. Like 2, maybe 3 rogues, depending, are going to have to be on traps at all time. They didn't listen to me. Like they thought they would just go down. I was like, dude, they pop up randomly. Tried to say it multiple times. We died so many times because they would not stick to traps.
we didn't die that many times.
Yes, we
just
did.
slowed down.
Yes, we
No,
did. Yes,
no.
we did.
I can count on one hand the amount of times we've wiped in the suppression room.
You are lying to yourself. You are
What are you
remembering wrong.
talking about? Dying in the suppression room? The suppression room's so
Because
easy.
of rogues.
I remember them popping up and being like, "Oh, I hate how slow I am," but I was never. We did
Well, I mean,
not
I
die
guess
as
I
Yeah.
guess
much as
I,
thinking.
we didn't wipe a ton, but like
Okay, yeah,
it was a
people.
pain in the
I'm not.
ass.
I'm not saying you're. I do agree with your statement though that our rogues did a horrible job with the suppression. I do completely agree with you that it was every. It was. I don't even want to talk about it. But we were running so many rogues at one time where it's just like I don't get why none of you like AQ's out and we're going and doing a BWL and it's like you guys still don't know how to do the suppression room. I'm like
Well,
really
and there's
confused
still
about that.
Crix has said it multiple times today. He says, I don't know how they're gonna tune it. And it's a smart thing to
Mhm.
say because there's so much shit that was different from vanilla WoW that was in classic WoW that like was just stealth stuff that we still haven't figured out everything that was different. Like, I mean, we're talking even down to, and I know I've bitched about it many times, like you used to be able to dance and pull out your freaking weapons while
Yeah,
you
you
were
love
dancing.
that.
And like that was just gone. Like, and just there's so many things like that. And so you just don't know until you're in classic. Like, you can speculate, but you just don't know until you actually go in there.
Yep. No, we're not gonna. I'll know as soon as PTR's up. I'm streaming it every day. We have practice every night. I'm in a guild. We're trying to go for world first again. We failed T5, but we'll do it again. Try to at least.
Any more
Okay, I was in the
questions in
bathroom and I
chat?
love
hear
it.
you. Can I just correct the fact that we didn't wipe a bunch, but we did get the claim that these things were bugged
Yeah.
And I
What?
kept,
and
Yeah.
it was inconvenient.
yeah, IDD, he was like, they're bugged. I'm like, dude, I was a rogue in vanilla. We literally had to
Oh,
do it the
suppression.
entire time because they just pop back up. Like, and no one would listen to me. It
I'm
just
just
still
saying.
drives me nuts to this day.
Okay, let's move on.
What else? I was seeing if chat had any other questions. I still can't remember the question that I was gonna ask. I don't know if it wasn't about dungeons. It
What's
wasn't
the
about.
most fun fight in
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
phase 5 or 6? 6?
Wait, phase 5, tier
12.
6.
Phase 3,
27.
tier 6.
Archimon for my Hygel's my favorite, and then
Well, then what happens in Archimon? What makes it fun?
dealing with the airburst and the flame trails together, mixed with everybody spread out. The normal. For some reason, I don't know if you noticed, but for some reason, ranged people like to stack. Like
They
they don't
do.
like to spread out for some reason. I don't know if they just don't feel like it's normal. They can get healed or something like that. But
That's
people want to
casting
spread out,
uptime.
and this is going to be one of those issues. Yeah, and it's not one of those things where you can stand anywhere because if you stand too far away, you'll land in the water, then you die. The water poisons you in that fight or something like that. And then you got to watch where you're standing, and you get to hit that air
Well,
burst and timing the air burst. And if people have trouble clicking something with a larger window than the air burst.
and okay, so and it's kind of a bad thing because like you've got the selfish ranged, and then you've got the selfish ranged. And that's what you have. So like literally there'll be multiple fights. Like Lady Vash, I can remember Tuesday night, I walk up and I start casting. And I felt like I was there first, so I shouldn't have to move, right? But Harry is right there next to me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm casting, I'm like, do I lose a shadow bolt to move over just in case? Nope. I'm gonna wait to see if I get my the static charge, and then I'll move. And like, and sometimes it hurts bad. Sometimes it doesn't hurt at all. Like, and so it's so hard. So I think that's why a lot of people are selfish. And
This is why
Yeah, well,
Parses ruined the freaking team game, right? Like Parses made everybody selfish.
That's why we need
Parse
to.
has
I've been
made the
trying
team
to.
game die.
Overall damage is what I look at the most to determine a valuable raid member, unless their class is messed up.
You know what we
But
need? You know what we need?
Well, that's
This
what
would
you
be
look at,
amazing.
but we look
What
at
if
the
we
boss
had-
fight.
Will you shut up? And I was talking.
My bad.
What we need is guild raid parse, right? So like this determines like how your guild did.
Well, I mean,
So
don't we have that?
how
It's
many people
execution.
died? How many people died? How often did they die? How much healing overall did you do? How much damage overall did you do? Like guild parses, I think should be our like gold.
Here's the problem with that, Mel, is that then our guild sucks. And I'd rather think our guild is good. So I'm gonna look at my personal boss parses. Oh, I'm a great player. Anyway, ignoring the
Nah.
times I die now.
Yeah, but do
Let's
you know
just
how many people are looking at I'm a great player and making the guild parse look worse?
Well, and
That's
I
why I
mean,
like overall
honestly,
damage.
like I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Like, there are people that have like these awesome parses that actually really hurt the raid in different ways.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like it's unfortunate you can't see that on paper. And like guild leadership, all they have to go by a lot of times, especially if they don't know the class, like is they look at like what's on paper, but they don't see the little intricate things that people do to like
Why do
be a
I feel like this
detriment.
is about recklessness? Why is this feeling like it's about
No, it's
personal
not.
recklessness?
It's I
Like,
mean, it's literally it's something I've dealt with throughout the entirety, like playing rogue,
but
playing warrior,
it was
everything.
really cool. My favorite rating time of like quote unquote progression in Nax was when we were trying to get Nax to one night because we all had to like do things much differently than we were before. Getting through trash is a much bigger portion of time than getting through a boss fight quicker. Unless the boss is going to be really hard, then maybe your parses matter. But how quickly we get through stuff is more important to me. There are plenty of guilds one nighting SSC and TK. I think we're pretty close to there, but we would need
Mhm.
to like make compromises. We would have to be like, you can't use these cooldowns on this boss because we're going faster this time. And some people don't like that. Like, oh, I want recklessness up, I want this up, I want that up, and it might not be
Dude,
up.
Rex sucks. I'm so glad not to have to deal with like a 30-minute cooldown now. That is one really happy thing about being a lock.
Yeah, so it's just there are a lot of compromises, like, and I think it's a big problem. You have to know what your guild cares about the most, and we like parses, but we're not like we got to get the highest parse possible. Some people are, but other guilds like they don't. The parses come. If you're a speedrunning guild, you probably have really good parses from boss kill times to begin with. But you just need to know what your guild cares
Depends
about.
on comp.
Yeah, comp also. That's the other man. I wish there was a way.
Which is the
If
beauty
you
of
have
Wrath. Comp
Yep,
doesn't
party
comp
wide.
doesn't matter. It's all raid wide and everybody has a chance to shine.
I think that's legitimate because it is doing the raid groups is unbelievably annoying. It's like my least favorite part. Sitting people and raid groups is like just a frustrating
Well,
experience to
because you have to
deal with.
decide like who's gonna get this buff, and whoever doesn't get this buff is gonna be real mad that they're not
Yeah,
getting this buff.
and they take it personally. That's the other thing, and I
Yeah,
get it. I was a DPS at one point too, so I get it. But it's like it's not always about that. Like,
it's all right. You could be the holy priest that everybody's like, oh, I have to be in the holy priest group, and I'm like,
do you
okay,
bring
sorry
anything to your
guys.
group? Do you bring
What?
anything to the group at all?
Okay, let's not be rude.
Circle of healing, baby.
Yeah, but I
The
bring
circle.
circle of
Oh,
healing to any group.
That's true.
oh, yeah.
I bring prayer of healing to just
Oh,
my
prayer
group.
appealing is just your group. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a question. But like druids, for instance, I think they give like their own party plus to the healing they receive based on their spirit or something. Like there's all these little things that
Well, they
people
have,
give.
fairy fire, boomkin buffs.
Yeah, yeah, they also have other stuff, but I mean like group specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
um that's
the boomkin buff is group
uh
specific.
I mean we don't have a boomkin anymore, so I don't have to worry about that, but I kind of wish we had a boomkin, but boomkin don't do that much personal damage, right?
Yeah, we don't
No.
run boomkin actually at all.
Yeah, they're pretty low down, but they give the locks 3% damage, or the mages not damage, 3% crit.
Do you use improve fairy fire with a resto kin then, right? You
Yeah.
use a druid to do it? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We use Restogun for it. And then
How many druids do you run? Just one?
just one. Yeah, the one resto druid. But Boomy, the Boomy is 5% crit, but it's 3% hit they bring. But that's what the Imp FF is.
Yeah,
We
That's
don't
what I use.
have a
We're almost
boomy
done.
anymore.
yeah.
Huh?
So we have, but Jasmine does
We'll be leaving
improve
afterwards.
fairy fire.
Love you. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a resto kin now, which is nice.
You didn't go do it yet?
Which really throws me off though, because I look for Jasmine and she's not a tree. He's not a tree. And I'm like, what? Where's Jasmine?
I don't look
It's
at
very
people
strange.
in game. I don't
Well,
know what
that's because
anyone
you're
looks
so
like.
close.
What do you mean? Oh yeah. So either my camera is horrible and I'm looking at a wall, or I'm so zoomed out that everyone's ants and I'm like,
And It's all right. I usually look just at raid frames, so kind
Yeah,
of
right.
a
You don't even
similar
know what any of the
problem.
bosses look like.
I just
Yeah.
stare at threat meters.
Yeah, I look a lot of threat meters. I
I
look at my
mean,
health and threat meters. That's what matters the most.
I've got some pretty good tanks at this point, so I oftentimes don't have to like I have to watch it at the start of the fight, but I like I had to at the start of the phase. I had to soul shatter constantly, like every boss fight, and now I don't even have to use it lots of boss fights because
Yep,
my
better
tanks are
gear
good.
too. Yep, better gear.
So, the way it's supposed to
It gets
work,
worse, by the way. Threat does. So
yeah,
when you
threat
start,
will get
Shit.
worse.
remember
While
they were getting a bunch of gear while we got minor upgrades. So
It'll
the
get
gap
worse. The
gets
way
big.
it's supposed to work, though, if you're tanking properly, which I think is going to be a problem for warriors, because right now our threat is still really good. But as we like get more mitigation, we're dodging more and taking less damage. Our rage generation goes down. But normally, you want to be building threat faster than your DPS. So when you're shattering, really you're like slowly catching up over time and then having to shatter. In an ideal world, I'm always building, even if it's like 0.01 faster than you. I'm still like gaining percentage on you the whole time, so you never have to. And that's what we're at right now, where
Yep.
it's like you look
Well,
at the threat parses and it's like there's variance in the pull, but as long as I do more threat than you, it's better. But
well,
some
and
fights are a
Yeah,
little
if we do a
wacky.
normal thing where you're lusting the locks and stuff, I'm catching my tank. I have the list. I have the shatter.
yeah. See, and like the best part is like unless there's like like an aggro reset fight, like the best time is to like kind of like if you having that problem, like the first doom hits, you shatter, or like the later in the fight that you could shatter, the better, and then you're gonna have an easier time because it just halves threat. Like
Mhm.
so like the more threat you have, the more you're getting from soul shatter.
I find as a holy priest that one, I often pulled aggro in Kara.
Yes.
So my fade button was like my mouse wheel button, right? Like I was constantly using it. In SSC and TK, it's like very randomly I pull
It's the
threat.
prop paladin. It's the prop paladin. If it was just a couple of warriors tanking SSC and TK, I feel like you'd be pulling more. But
Yeah,
because
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
fair. I
because
thought
we
you
have
were
a
saying it was the
paladin.
prop paladin's problem that I was randomly
No.
pulling.
No, 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 no. So like in SSC and TK, there's a prop paladin hitting all of the trash. So as
Yeah,
long
yeah,
as he can out threat you healing, then like you should
yeah,
never really be pulling. Um,
yeah.
it's nothing I'm
But
doing different.
randomly, like I get a mob that comes to me, and I have about like 0.5 seconds to hit fade, and fade is not my like insta button anymore. So I'm like, "Duh!" And I, you know, 7 times out of 10 get it off.
Fade's butt. I actually usually put a bubble up first, to be honest. Bubble
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
Hellstone ahead of time, boom, fade. And then run
Yeah,
away
it's
because
just
fade just pauses
usually
the
I don't
threat, right? It
realize they're
only
running
pauses it.
towards me. Like I'm like looking at the raid frames and then I like realize I'm getting attacked and then I try to bubble and fade and then it's kind of late.
Yeah.
Healers need to
Listen,
take back the narrative. That's the problem here, Mel, is you let that happen and then you'll die and then whatever. Like, okay. What you need to say is, tanks, can we tank the mobs, please? That's what you need to say.
Can you
And then
taunt?
that's it. You take yeah, taunt, please.
Also, are
Like
you at max range when you
Taunt!
move? Dude? That's a big
Somebody
thing is making
taunt!
sure you're max range.
oh yeah, I'm at
Yeah.
max range and you know what Yip likes to do is that I'm at max range and then Yip likes to move like 2 feet this way where I'm now farther than max range, like right before
listen,
my big heal gets off, right? And then it's like out of range. And I'm like,
you have
"Yeah."
no idea
Hmm.
how much I've had to curb how much I move around in this game. I could not have main tanked at the end of like classic because I'm always just like I'm strafing back and forth the whole time. I'm jumping up and down. It's just fun to move. I want to push more buttons. Like classic is kind of a simple game, right? I played a lot of retail where there's a lot of buttons to push all the time.
Hmm.
So like I'm just like, oh, I'm bored. So I'm just like jumping around, I'm dancing, like I'm just having
Right.
a good time. But when I started tanking, I was like, why am I keep moving the mob everywhere? I have to stop doing
Yeah.
this.
So like I go to max range and then Yip like jumps all happily over like to this corner and it's like, dude. And he's like,
That's
I
not it's
went
not that bad anymore.
3.5 seconds without a heal. And I'm like, you jumped 50% across the
Okay,
room.
so listen, I understand.
Hmm.
That doesn't really happen though. when I say I died, it's like, okay, there's Leo, for instance, right? Where once he stops whirlwinding, he's gonna attack the main tank. And that's just gonna happen. And if the main tank doesn't get healed for 5 seconds after he comes out of this whirlwind, I don't know what else to say. I truly do not. And I don't determine where he goes, right? Bob pulls aggro and I have to go run over and get Leo. That's not my fault. That's Bob's fault, okay? That's not me.
Hey, I learned the new jump strategy. You just have to jump, and he just leaves you.
Leo.
Yep.
Just jump.
Oh.
Well, not if you actually pull aggro, but when he's doing
Okay.
his spinning, you can just jump, and he'll just target somebody else.
Okay, so listen, I will confess to being a less educated person here because when Leo would whirlwind, I would freak the F out and just run away, right? And then, that was only for the first couple of weeks. And then I realized, like, okay, I don't have to run away unless he's running at me. But,
Run
like, I
away,
was
little
worried
girl.
about,
Run away.
yeah, it told me to run away. So I did.
Our
Uh,
healers are good. I want to reiterate. I think our healers are good, which is why when I die, I point it out and I'm shocked.
you're surprised.
Exactly. I'm not even joking. It's like I know you guys are good healers. I get to do whatever I want most of the time, but then when I'm doing like something normal and I die, I'm like, that's crazy. Like what happened?
That's why it's always so weird when like we're going into a fight and he's like, "I'm gonna need a lot of heals, guys." And I'm like, "Why? What are you doing? What did you do differently?"
Listen. That was one of our biggest problems in Classic. I just want to be as communicative as possible. If I'm putting DPS gear on, I'm telling you guys.
No, I feel you.
All right.
It helps because when you say that, I really do. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spam rank 1 flash heal. Yep.
All right, we got a question from chat from Hacks in chat. Crix, what item are you most excited about?
Skull of Gul'dan. Trinket. Alpha Illidan. Extended good trinket gives you some hit, which is needed. Not really needed, but you can make up room for it. And then a lot of
Haste.
And the
Mhm.
flavor.
Really
I
nice.
mean, think
Oh, it's a
about it.
skull.
You guys,
You hold in your hand, and green smoke comes out of it.
Gul'dan is the one who opened the dark portal. He's got the deep magic within him. And after he died, Illidan pulled his skull out, and then he uses it as a magic item. That's incredible. That's a good piece of gear.
Is there any
That's pretty
piece of
dope.
gear that you're excited about? Yep.
I replace like everything. Everything is just like
Yeah,
all
same.
good. Everything's like good.
4
Armor pen is
pieces
cool.
fat. T6. I'm excited for T6. The gear
Yeah.
it looks dope. The wings. 4 pieces like 120, 130 spell power, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't use
Dude, the
tier or anything. I
wings.
just use like off pieces. There's nothing I'm like really looking forward to actually. I don't even like the weapon upgrade. It's like the brutalizer or something. Unless I'm crazy, I don't think it has expertise on it. Which like the Maledictides does. So it's kind of like whatever. I'm honestly more looking to getting the PvP gear. I'm trying to get 2-piece vengeful like right as fast as possible. I need to find someone to grind a real high rating arena rating with because I want that in like 3 weeks. I want both of those pieces. It'll be insane.
Hey,
It'll
man.
make a really big progression difference.
Just use all that gold that you've saved up for your mount to buy a boost.
Yeah, all the gold I saved up. Oh, a boost. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Not that I would like normally be cool with that, but I am like it wouldn't be bad. I got like a fully geared Storm Herald warrior. I bet if a booster who could normally boost someone with no gear up to like 1850, we could probably get the job done pretty well. But
Probably a little bit easier.
mm,
Yeah, I mean, you just get a really good druid, and like you're just gonna get carried.
oh, I just hate.
I think
warrior druid.
for me, I think I'm
Listen.
most excited about the head, the T6 head. I still think it's weird that the head gives you the wings instead of the
Yeah.
shoulders, but
Same.
I'm most excited about just the wings popping out while I'm walking around. It sucks that it's going to be on a gnome and you can barely,
It really
at
is.
least
Well,
the
it's
head.
incredible though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool animation. And then I'm probably just going to wear that T6 for the entirety of Wrath while Lock Dude is my bank alt. So, so
It's pretty dope
it's,
looking, man.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Mel,
I like transmog that on retail on my warlock and stuff. It's a good look.
what are you excited about, Mel?
I am slightly frustrated because I literally replace everything. So now I'm reconsidering my bidding options on certain items.
Well,
But at
just
the same
remember
time,
every tier change, every phase change, there's a
I
big
know.
there's a big depreciation.
Yeah, which can we bring this up? This depreciation, because I haven't spent my DKP, but I haven't had the opportunity to spend my DKP. I'll spend it all on something. But I don't know. I want a new weapon. Like, I
Yeah, we
haven't.
haven't gotten any of the Vash. There's the Vash mace, right? That drops. Is it a mace? The Vash healing weapon,
Yeah, it's a
and we
mace.
we haven't gotten any of them. So
Any of
all of
them.
our healers are gonna need.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, I think
like,
weapons are a good go-to. I think they always have like a really insane stat increase. Do you know what your tier looks like next tier, Mel? Do you wear your tier next tier? Tier 6?
yeah, yes, I think. Yeah.
I'm just used to tier 4 where it felt like nobody. There was like very few people
Oh
who
yeah, yeah.
really cared
We're
that much.
on
Yeah, except for the
Taylor in
defender
here.
stuff now. The T5 defender stuff, it's just like we're not gonna have enough going into tier 6. That's kind of a huge bummer. I'm actually not gonna pick any up, I think now, because at this point it's sort of like I'm gonna replace it right away.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Next
saying.
year.
It's like,
Yeah,
so when do we think that this is gonna come out?
mid-January.
Yeah, I think in January sometime. It could at the end of this month, but holidays, you never know.
Yeah.
With
But
no
you also have
announcement
to
on
think
ATR
like,
yet, that freaks me out a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Or
but
maybe
you
it
also
doesn't
have to
because they only
think,
had PTR for like a week, and that would maybe even be happy. You're only freaking us out because they had it for so long. But if they don't plan to have it for so long,
I mean,
maybe
even
they go,
still,
well,
"Hey,
didn't they
PTR is out
announce
I
this
next
want
week.
expansion?
It's out for a week. Let's
yeah, I
fix
want
it," and then
I
boom.
just want an announcement. That's all I
Yeah,
ask for.
But
I don't
hopefully
didn't
even
it's
they
too
want
announce
soon.
this expansion like with no warning?
very
Expansion
little.
or phase?
Okay,
Ex
phase.
expansion.
No, they gave a
Phase.
warning.
It was. I mean,
Oh,
it was a 2-week warning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
but
2 week
people were
warning with
upset,
PTR.
right?
Well, I
season
mean,
the
before is pretty
season
boring,
thing.
easy to.
It was
The
more arena. It was
The
more
arena was the
PvP.
upsetting part because
Yeah.
people they make their grind to the level
Yeah,
to the ranking they want at the end of the
yeah.
season, and then surprise, the end of this is the last like. At first, they were like, "This is the last week." Didn't they? Did they extend it? Did they say? Am I crazy?
No,
Did
I
they say
think it
like
was
it's
like
gonna
2
be?
weeks, but it
It
was
was
only
2 weeks, but
one
only one
arena
more
week.
arena week, right? Because we had the
Yeah,
off week, and I was like, "Yo, that is insanity!" To
yeah,
all these PvPers, you have to make an announcement sooner than that, and I would hope that
But
they
they
would think
learned
of it
from
the
their
same.
lesson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that. But
I
You think
mean,
they
they
announced the nerfs whenever they announced the nerfs, and they also announced PTR at the same time? Here's the
so
nerfs. Here's
wait,
PTR
are
next week.
nerfs
Whatever.
I
Boom.
think
actually
so too.
coming?
Yeah.
Did
December
I
14th.
miss this?
You
yeah,
didn't.
I don't think you were on the episode that we talked about when the nerfs were coming in.
It's December 14th or when they're coming in, the nerfs. I would imagine nerfs come
Nerfs
December
were
14th,
supposed to come in with the new phase,
but
right?
they already negated that by trying to put the nerfs in a month ago.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
stupid.
so what I think they're gonna do is December 14th, nerfs come out, and at the same time, they'll say, "You got 2 weeks left in the season, and you got 2 weeks until phase 3 comes out." That would be, like, the
That's what I think
ideal
too.
expedited timeline. I still think that's a mistake not having a sooner announcement than that, but going with what they've been doing, that I think makes the most
I
sense.
mean, they still have next week to announce it. But there's another question in chat that's like confusing me. TV says Tempest of Chaos.
Yeah, it's a
Prot.
weapon. Yeah, it's prop high abyss. Yes,
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
it's a weapon that you're gonna want to, and it's good for it's every sword. He knows he's trolling. Every sword go. He's a prop on. Every sword goes to prop on. It's an argument. Some people
Oh,
argue that it shouldn't go to a prop on, but I am a warlock. I'm telling you, it should go to a part. It should go to a
Our
paladin.
our prop paladin's got Fang on
Yeah,
right now,
you should get it
so
right away. Every
yeah.
time.
I mean,
Hands down,
like,
especially because of my
that
high
just
defense.
helps you pump more.
Yeah,
yeah, having the it's been night and day. We went into this phase with like someone who just switched to prop paladin for us because ours is like pieced. So that was like they was coming in with blues. It's night and day now that
Oh
he has
yeah.
way more gear now. Like what we're able to do.
Oh,
He can
dude,
tank
he's a fucking
all the
hoss.
trash. Yeah, it's actually incredible. Yeah,
Yeah, he's really wonderful.
it's that we have like a really good situation going on right now. I feel like where because I don't want to say I'm brain dead, but I'm a little aloof. I'm talking to people during raids sometimes. People are like asking stuff, and I'm like, and then like he's keeping the pace of trash really well, and then I'm main
Yeah,
taking the bosses. Like we have a good like thing going on where he's able to just be like, "We're coming, let's go, we're pulling," and it's better for him to do that because he's the prop paladin and actually
yeah.
entering the pools so first. So we've got a good Well,
I mean, it is true. Where like Yip's like, I'm gonna pull, and then it's like I'm like way far away, and then nobody heals him and he dies.
who,
That was
me?
our story. No,
Oh,
not
pause.
you.
Oh, you
No,
said
that
me.
was you. That was you and
Oh, oh,
Kara.
oh.
And Kara a few times. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
you.
it's fine.
That was you. If
That was
you
me.
here's the rating rule. Here, you want to make your raids go faster? Drink at the next pull. Don't drink where they died.
I
If
Drink
Well,
you
no,
have a
mean,
actually, to
learning
make your
history,
go faster, you drink walk.
you drink walk. Correct. I
You
can't.
spam. You just spam water while you're walking,
For,
and you
for
just like you
all of
sat
phase
down the whole
one.
time.
For all of phase one,
if
we had like no
mages would like to make
mages.
more tables, I will
You can't do it
happily
with tables.
spam drink walk.
You can't
You
do
need
it
a
with
I
lot.
different.
mean, the mages
Yeah,
make
you
quite
can't
a bit
do it
of
with anything that
tables.
give you food. It can only give you direct water. So it has to be they have to either like our mages sit out front of raid for like 20 minutes and conjure a bunch of their water, or you can buy the food, the regular water from the vendor. That's what I do because I don't
But
want to
see,
be
I didn't
hassling on
know
me.
that.
these are
Yeah.
speed run tips. What I'm talking about is I look at mana. We got 2 healers with full mana. I pull, and for some reason they're like somewhere else. They're in a whole
Oh
nother
yeah.
raid
Yeah,
still.
you know why?
I'm like,
Because we
well,
went through all of classic WoW with a tank that just pulled.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
Prosecutor's great, but Executive was the best tank of all time. I mean, let's just be honest. I think also this entire episode,
Can we just
we need to train Crix
Nope.
on our sarcasm because, like, so many times he's answered us back,
Yeah.
like
I
when
was
we've
just thinking that,
done
I was like, oh.
sarcasm, and he's like, "No, no, seriously." I'm like, "Oh
I'll
yeah,
get it over
yeah,
time.
we're
listen,
just
it's
joking."
good for the audience because we
Mhm.
we clarify just in case
listen? It was
anyone.
a learned behavior in classic to not move up because exec wouldn't pull if we hadn't moved up, or if he did, I didn't
I
care
understand
that
what
he
you're
died.
saying. Like you would, it's
Right?
like it's an active protest. Like
Yeah, it
we're sitting
was.
back here and
It was
drinking.
like
You're
I am
literally
drinking.
connected.
I'm gonna get my mana because you have pulled 17 times and I've had to do
Crix.
12 mana pods.
Yeah.
We had a tank in Classic WoW who was famous for just stealth dual wielding on a fight that he hadn't dual wielded, you know, like the few weeks before, and just not telling anybody, and
Was it
like
Fury?
full DPS gear. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like, I mean, he wiped
I
us so many
understand that,
times you
though.
wouldn't even understand the like
Jeez.
frustration.
As the main tank, I understand where he was coming from now because it's like you look at logs. All I do all week is look at logs. Like I'm sitting at work, I'm looking at logs, and I'm like, whoa, this is what this person's doing. I want to try that. His only mistake was just not telling
Communicating.
people that he was
Exactly.
doing it.
Exactly.
Like I remember on Veil, oh, world buffs. Oh, I hate world buffs. But with like Veil,
I mean, that's what
if you
really
wipe,
made us mad.
You're
Like,
gonna lose everything.
if we
So he would
didn't have world buffs in Classic WoW, there would probably be like we probably wouldn't have the animosity we have built up for exec.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any animosity, but for Vale, for instance, normally you wear fire res, and he's wearing fire res, and then surprise one week not wearing any fire res with no notice. It's that sort of stuff that I'm like, I'm trying to avoid that. Like, I want people to at least know. Like Lurker, it was very irresponsible for me to dual wield one week, but I was like, I saw someone doing it. I can do it. We had 6 healers. I can do it. And I did it, and I told the healers, and they healed me, and I lived. And, like, it was that simple.
This
But,
totally
like, without
makes sense now that you're like so vocal about. I'm gonna need a lot of heals here.
That's
'Cause
exactly why. 'Cause,
You're,
like, it's
I
like
you're trained by executive.
Yip doesn't necessarily tell us why he needs a lot of heals, but he's like, hey guys, I'm gonna need a lot of heals here. And I'm like, okay.
yeah, because I
And
know,
it
like
does get me to focus on you more because if I'm used to you taking a certain amount of damage,
exactly.
then I heal you what I'm used to healing you, right? And then I'm like over here healing everybody else. And then if you're dropping quickly, I'm like, fuck.
The most important thing is avoidance. So you're used to me having a level of avoidance where half the attacks hit me, where
Right.
1/3 of the attacks hit me. But when I put on like a DPS set, or I'm putting on a set that I dual wield with, I'm not using a ton of avoidance. So every melee almost is gonna hit me. So it's like, listen, I know, you do a boss 10 times, I take this much health, you know the boss. If I
Right.
change something where I'm gonna take 30,
Twice
40%
the
more
health.
damage. Usually,
Yeah.
it shouldn't, if it's twice, I might have gone too far. But there is like people do need to know that that's going to be going on. So I think that being
Yeah.
vocal is really important.
So we're probably going to start wrapping up soon. I thought of one question that I actually
Ooh.
really want to know before. If you guys have any, think of them now because I'll ask you at the end of this. But What items are still going to be important from the earlier bosses once Phase 3 hits?
Lady Vash. Nope.
Lady Vash, like the
Now,
the
at some point, you
robe. I can think of like still the trophies still good
yeah,
from
headpieces, everything,
Gruul.
yeah, rings. So there is at some point, I don't know when, admittedly, but there's a time when you can skip straight to Lady Vash, pretty much.
Oh.
After you kill platform trash and stuff, but I don't remember when that is. It might be next phase, it might be later in the phases, but at some point you can do
Really,
that.
where the bridge is just
Mhm.
open
Yeah,
right
you just
away.
go. Yep.
That's huge, actually. Because I was gonna
Wow.
say we're
That
never
could
going
actually
back
even
and doing
be just a private server thing, but I think that's I'm pretty sure that's real. But I don't know when that is. That might be another phase. That might be CA phase or something. But yeah, you certainly want Vaj. KT, you're still gonna be running those raids. You're gonna be doing TK and SSC every day, every week
We
still.
actually,
So
so
your raid weeks are gonna have to. You're
unfortunately,
gonna have to add a week. Yeah,
we will not be doing
and
that.
DST
Mm-mm.
if you're not doing
Um,
DST. Well, yeah. You don't have to. I'm saying, but
yeah, like,
unless
but
everybody has their stuff. But if you look at Fangs, you want to run Leo, so everybody has Fang chance at least.
Mm.
Because
Badge is nice.
we still only have two fangs. I have it, and then our
Yeah,
prop Pally
Fangs,
has it.
Tier as well for any of your mages and hunters that still need their 4-piece. You're gonna need to get all that. You have to keep running until they get it because they don't replace those right away.
I
And
don't
then
think there's anything from Lady Vash for Holy Priest. I don't think there's anything from Lady Vash or TK from Holy Priest that I don't replace.
Mel, whenever
But
people are talking about really cool gear, I love healers. I just feel like they don't.
Are you
When I
throwing shade at
I
Mel?
I'm not trying to show shit at Mel. I just mean like the benchmark of healing. If you can heal it, it's sort of like you heal it. But with DPS, like the numbers keep going up.
okay.
You know, but the amount of damage people take goes down throughout a raid tier. You know, it's like a different like.
Does it? I still deal with warlocks, okay?
I'm
Like,
not I'm
So
come
not
on.
okay,
saying I'm not saying your gear's not important. I just mean like there's only like a handful of items in the game that are ever like oh like the healing mace, like boom, the you know the Cthulhu healing mace or the KT healing mace. But other than that, where people like, oh, I finally got my
Do you
like
know why? Do you know why you don't think that? Is because you've gone
prejudice,
through
healer
this
prejudice.
phase of just fabulous healers that you
True.
think like, what could even make them better?
all right, hold on.
Nothing.
Let me pull it back.
Okay.
So to
No, can we continue to talk about how good healers are? And
no,
that's why Yip doesn't
All of our
we
understand.
healers got
can't.
Azure Song Mage Blade before our casters did, okay? All of our prop paladins were
You know
using
what's
mage.
really going to be spicy about the healer conversation is in Lich King, there's no healer gear anymore. They just want the spell power gear. It's just spell power MP5 gear. So all the healers from
Oh,
DPS need the literal same exact pieces throughout all of Lich King. Have fun.
Yep. Although it's pretty cool for
Bring it
dual
on.
spec to be able to swap back and
Yep.
forth as a caster class. And even if you're in a healing set, like you're still doing some pretty substantial damage. So like if your spec is a healer, you're still doing some pretty good damage. So it's kind of cool, but then like at the same time, yeah, it's kind of rough. But my question for you, so to preface this question, I need to know how long it takes your badass guild to run SSC and TK total hours.
One night, like 2.5, 3 hours for everything.
All right, so 3 hours. So it takes
We had
us.
we did a speed run actually this week of SSC and we did it in like 52 minutes or something.
Okay, but I'm talking about both of them. So it's probably roughly like average 3 hours for you guys to clear both of them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we clear everything in one night on Tuesday nights.
So for us, it would probably be 4.5 hours. Okay, so my question is, how long is it going to take to run Mount Hyjal and Tempest Keep for your badass guild?
Longer than it is to do T5. More bosses, Black Temple,
I
and
mean,
then my Hodge is going to be longer than DK.
give me a
5
guess.
bosses. I would say I would depending on how much tuning it is. If it's tuned the same, I would say one night it. We'll be able to one night it because we're one of those PTR trying to race world first type things. But I think on average, I think you'll be able to do. I don't know. I have no clue because I don't know how it's going to be timed. Tuned. I don't
Just
think it's gonna be one clear one night. I don't think on average guilds are gonna be clearing it in one night.
yeah, I'm
I
just
think you have to
talking
come back to
about
split
like
nights.
once you have it on farm, what's your guess of how
It's hard for him
long
to
it'll
answer because
take?
he's better than all of us.
Exactly,
I
Well,
exactly,
it's hard because
exactly.
of the tuning. I would probably say like probably 4 hours or 5 hours to clear everything probably at start maybe.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
It's
That's
about
about
7 or
right.
8
for
hours, guys.
so
Yeah.
okay, so if you're doing 5 hours, that means we're like you do 3 hours, we do 4.5 hours, we're 50% higher.
Yeah, like 7 or
So
8.
if you're doing 5 hours, that means it's gonna take our guild 7.5 hours. There's no way we're making it
Mind
back
you,
to do
every
the
single
old
person in our
raids.
guild and raid will have hundreds of hours on the PTR with this one raid. So
You
everybody knows
guys
the
are
mechanics. There's
gonna
no wipes.
do.
There's no wipes. There's virtually gonna be no wipes.
You guys are gonna do PTR.
Oh yeah, we're going for world first. We try to every year. We got world like 29th.
My
30th.
yeah,
I wanna do
my
PTR.
my
We're
whole
not that
point
good,
with
and I
that
wanna do PTR.
question was like we have no chance of doing the old raids come
Yeah,
come
Yeah,
next
for
phase.
our
that's what
Well,
sucks
we'll
about
do
how.
them
That's
like
what
we
sucks
do
about them not
Kara.
nerfing it, kind of, because like there is Vag loot you need, and it's, there's so
The
many
problem
guilds
is
we're not gonna have all that.
the problem with Vash is that you need to do the entire place, and when we do, like, Grow Mag, we get, like, 18 people to come. We can't be
Right.
going and doing all of SSC with 18 people
But
every
don't they
week.
nerf? Don't they
So,
They
nerf the
I'm gonna
only
previous raid?
nerf Vash,
Well, we just
KTS.
talked about them nerfing them. They're going to
these
nerf
are
them.
Yeah,
these are
yeah, but
different
they
nerfs.
only nerf 3 bosses though.
These are
It
different
still
nerfs.
yeah, it still means that like we're gonna have to go through the trash and everything else to get to Vash.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
saying this because I feel like you're not getting my point, is that the nerfs that they announced are not the nerfs that happened in original TBC. There are
Yeah.
other nerfs that
Oh,
came
really?
that when phase 3 comes out will probably be implemented. That's what I'm trying
Oh,
to say.
okay. I
I
didn't know
think that
that.
they'll be that's why I think that the only thing getting nerfed on Vash is that MCs can now be, like, stunned and feared. That is not the only nerf that's not the
Right.
only
That's a
tuning
very
change.
big deal, though. That's gonna so
I agree it's a big deal.
that's gonna make
I'm
that fight a
I'm
joke.
I'm looking right here. Toxic Spores and Lady Vash encounter no longer deal
Mm.
damage on impact,
You guys
which
are gonna
means
be easily one-shotting that from now on. It's gonna be a joke.
that is
Laughable.
gonna be super easy. But I am looking too in 2.4 with Isle of Kildonis, Lady Vash may now be engaged without killing the other bosses in Serpent Shrine. So it looks like
Oh.
in Sunwell you'll be able to go back and kill just Vash. From what I see, is from 2.4.
Because they made that gear too good.
I mean, I could be I could be wrong and just like talking out of my ass or something here, but to
Or they
me,
could choose to make it that when Sunwell comes out.
well, yeah, they can do whatever they want. I don't mean wrong there. I meant wrong on the nerfs. It was my impression that the nerfs that were coming out early were not the like phase change nerfs. They were just going to do a mini nerf so that people could be 10 of 10 a little bit
Yeah,
easier.
they were
Yeah.
basically
It was my
nerfing those 3
impression,
bosses that were
right?
so hard for everybody.
My impression is that there were going to be some other nerfs that were coming as well too.
A
So
Tidewalker.
yeah, well, like, yeah, so, like, I don't just mean Tidewalker, like, Lady Vash in 2.1 can no longer MC people. Toxic Spores don't deal damage when they come out. Like, there were other nerfs they implemented in TBC to these
Yeah.
bosses to make them incredibly easier than they are now,
Mhm,
and that
mhm.
I thought they were gonna do as Phase 3 came out. But I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
hope
if
they
they
do,
if
and I also hope they let you go straight to Vash, dude. That would really help a lot of
that
those
would
guilds
help
out,
so many guilds out if they
dude.
did
Yeah,
that,
And that's
just
yeah.
fair
do it
that's fair enough.
one
Like, hey, we
patch
understand
early.
we kept it hard because there is people forums complaining about that right there, and it's understandable too. So like, hey, let them get that.
Yeah, just do it one
Yeah,
like
keep it hard throughout the
it's
phase, but once the phase is over, like,
Blow it over. Make it so we can just
yeah.
go in there and shit on that whole place with 20 people.
Mhm.
I feel like once the phase is over, drop a tunes, nerf it, do whatever. Like I feel like once the phase is over, like it's over. Like although at the same time though, then you could just walk right into but you still have to kill
Yeah, but there's people
yeah.
that enjoy doing the previous phase, more casual people that enjoy doing the previous phase to like progress, right? And I don't know, I go back and forth because I think if I started now, would I want an easier boss? But yes, because I can still go to a harder boss raid, right?
I'm just thinking
Like,
about getting people in like and replenishing guilds
Yeah, I
like
say do
down the
whatever because there's
road.
alt leveling is like a really I think is gonna be vital to keeping the game alive too. Like there are
yeah,
a lot of guilds getting smashed and disappearing, but if my druid was like up and running, I could tank for guild like if it's easy, I don't have to do a lot to get it tuned. I'll go do SOC next patch with my druid more and get geared and get my druid ready.
Right.
As it is now, it just feels like a huge chore to even like think about doing that right
Yeah,
now.
even like you're just
Yeah.
like no.
Yeah, it's not even a question. It's just no. So it stinks. Like I hate to like diminish the integrity of the game I like, but having a populated game I think is super important, and allowing
Yeah.
people to go back and do this stuff easier is important. Because really, I mean, yeah, like you said, Leo has there's a couple of good items throughout the raid, but Vash is like it'd be really nice if we got more kills in.
All right, well, do you guys have any more questions for Crix? Crickets?
Where'd you get the sweater from?
My wife got it. I have no clue. Amazon. My wife gets everything, bro.
Same.
Like, oh, I
Guys,
get
what
those
would we do
extreme,
without
and she's like,
Amazon?
oh man, I don't know.
Dude,
Just
I
imagine
How does their
the
cloud
I have to
80s and the
watch
90s.
I have to watch Mel because we'll be like watching a show and like Mel will literally just buy stuff on Amazon constantly. And I look over, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just looking to see if there's anything I didn't know I wanted. I'm like, stop.
Exactly.
Stop. Like
No, I needed.
she bought me actually, I don't know if I'm gonna say this on the podcast. Fuck it. I'll do it.
I am a stuff.
So I made a joke to Mel
Very
one
unselfish.
night that I was like, she was asking me what I wanted for like my birthday. That was a couple years ago. I was like, I want a bidet. I didn't even know that she knew what a bidet was. She freaking bought one on Amazon. And then it came a couple days later and I was like, I was kidding. And she was like, well, I'm going to hook it up. Best present ever.
See, so
Listen.
you've totally destroyed your own argument.
I know, but it
Mel's
was
allowed to order whatever she wants
Yep,
now.
yep.
But we don't have. Listen, no one's watching TV anymore. Back in the day, we all used to get our like extraneous shopping done through like QVC and HSN, like these networks that
No.
would be like, "Here's an item that you might want," and it's like, no. But now Amazon does it for us. It's like, hey, we've used AI to see all the items you might want. It's
And
like,
we've
oh,
had your microphone on
Yeah.
so we can tell what you're talking about. So maybe you want to buy
Ugh.
this.
Dude, I can't.
All right.
Just-
We got to end it out, guys.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful episode. It's been great
has.
for Crix to be here. I want to
Thank you so
remind.
much for letting me have on again too.
Oh, definitely,
thanks,
dude.
Crix.
Dude, it was awesome. I want to remind everybody to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. We enjoy your WoW stories. We do have a WoW story email that we're saving for when there's less content, so we will read that. It just might be a couple weeks. That, believe me, there will be a lull. We will definitely read it. We are saving it. Thank you guys for sending those in. You send those emails to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our MASH Discord and talk to the host of this show or any show, it's mash.gg/Discord. Make sure to ping us if you say something. How can you help the show? Well, the best way to help the show is what so many people have done. Tell your guildies. It's such a large pool of people that could come check out the show, give you something funny to talk about, how Bob did something stupid this week. Like, share it with your friends. The other way to help is ratings and reviews. iTunes and warcraftradio.com/directory. You can leave reviews there. And yeah, that's basically the best way you can help us. Yep. Where can we find you?
You can find me on everything: Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter at The Yip Show or /The Yip Show.
Nice.
I have moved everything. I can stream again. I hardwired in. I had this problem since I moved in July where I would like have 400 ms or higher every like 20 minutes for a couple of minutes. Horrible basement Wi-Fi. We're hardwired.
got this.
Hallelujah. All right, Mel, where can we find you?
Well, I'd like to ask Yip to tell the Marriott to implement his systems so that, I can get internet as well while I'm out of town. But other than that, you can find me on Twitter at MelOverwatch. And I just realized there's been a couple of people that have commented in the MASH Discord and we have not responded. And I'm sorry, please tag us.
Yes, please. We're in a lot of Discords, so just please tag us. And Crix, thank you so much for coming in. Like,
course.
you have been a blast. Tell us where we can find you.
Crix Gaming everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
It's
Crix Gaming.
is it Crix? Because I know on Twitter it's Crix_gaming. Is it?
Yeah, it's Crix Gaming _ but if you just type Crix Gaming in, I'll come up.
Oh, okay, cool.
You'll see my goofy ass face.
I love the glasses.
There you
I love the glasses.
Just
They're
random. There's
definitely
nothing
nice
even
touch.
lenses in them. Yeah.
All right, and you
Love
can
it.
find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me streaming actually more than usual on twitch.tv/BlazinBob. So jump in, say hi, laugh at me being too scared to go in caves on Season Mastery Hardcore. All right, guys, we're going to get out
Watch
of
him
here.
dive at level 36.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going to raid somebody, but you guys can stop your local recordings.
Stopping my recording. Hopefully it's not ruined. This is the first time I've recorded here.
Who should we raid?
Big fail.
Who should we raid? Somebody. Should we raid Def Camp? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Do it.
What I hate about doing this is, like, I'm always getting done with the show when we raid, and people say hi to me when I jump in, and like I can't say hi back because like I'm getting done with
I
the
listen
show.
and say hi back.
So please tell them that we're not here, but we love Def Camp. Tell them we love them. Tell them good luck not dying.
A great dudes.
All right, we are